Victory with the Arrow AI. Arrow AI, you can see the sign here, guys. So geospatial software development. And Victory wanted to talk a few minutes about his startup. And then stick around 4 o'clock, we'll have food, we'll have drinks. We'll be here till 6 o'clock with the mixer. So Victory, if you want to come up and say a few words, and we'll wrap it up. Thanks for coming out, guys.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Victor Ginobaro. I am the CEO of Area AI. Area AI is the geospatial software company that leverages drones and gaming engine technology to provide information to architects, engineers, and construction companies to leverage drones to map buildings, structures, bridges, data, we process it, and we're building our own proprietary software. We build our own proprietary software so that architects and engineers visualize this project. We're using a game engine for this. I also host the Las Vegas Drone Meetup group. Been doing this for the past 3 years. I see some familiar faces here. We just launched our software Monday, and we've been in business for about 3 years now, and it's really exciting to see the growth and to see the community that we've built here in Las Vegas. And yeah, come back at 4 o'clock. We got food and drinks and some demo hanging around as well. I got cards. If you're interested in drones as well, my meetup is at 1:15 today, at room 150. Show up. It's really an exciting meetup. We have a very diverse group, folks, military, public safety, students, university, professors, and so on and so forth. People actually building and using drones. Yeah, so thank you and see you guys at 4.
All right, this will be a great day, by the way. A lot of great things happening. So I'm glad you guys made it. You're the smart ones. You guys are the smart ones. Also today, we have Timothy May with the AI presentation. We talked a little bit about that. I'm going to bring Timothy up here in just a second. In the meantime, maybe Jason has a moment to talk a little bit about the podcast. A little bit about podcast and Eric, stick around.
What's up, Tech Alley? Who knows, not you, Josh, who knows what number Tech Alley this is today? 50! This is the 50th Tech Alley event in downtown Las Vegas. Another reason to celebrate all you great folks coming out to Tech Alley. We're doing our biggest startup scene podcast live. From here, we do it every month at Tech Alley. Every Monday night, we will run down of what's going on. Nevada. Hey, who's a founder? If you're a founder, come talk to us. We're going to talk to you on the live stream. Who's an investor here? Investors, come talk to us. We're going to learn about what investors are looking for. Help founders get ready to invest. Who's got an event coming up in the next couple of weeks? You got an event coming up in the next couple of weeks. Come talk to us. You think we're getting at this? Hey, you got something going on. You're a founder. You got a company. Startups and stuff. Come talk to me and or Dave Berlin right here. We're centrally located. There'll be a line lunch. You guys will want to jump in line for lunch. Have a great day at Tech Alley. Enjoy the networking. That's networking event in Vegas. Who's already made a great connection today? Just about everybody. That's what I love about Tech Alley. That's live first time. That's live. So we will see you all. Come see us today. We'd love to talk to you. Have a great day today at Tech Alley.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it for Jason. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out. Tech Alley has a tradition of helping tech startups and doing launch parties like we're doing today for Arrow AI. So if you are a startup or if you know someone who's has a startup revolving around tech, absolutely reach out to us. Josh Levin is happy to help, and we're all here to support each other. And it really is community driven here. So absolutely congratulations to Tech Alley for 50 of these, and hopefully another 50 more or more. So we're excited about that. If Timothy May is here, I'd like to
so we're going to have a talk.
Beautiful, Timothy May. Thank you so much. I love the AI presentation, by the way. All right. We also have Dave Berlin. Dave, sure.
St. Akron folks, I had this shirt made because I'm here to promote and celebrate Freedom Week. So the week after 4th of July, we have 10 events across Nevada where we're going to be celebrating veteran entrepreneurship. And it's a big start to start talking about global entrepreneurship later in the year. So with that, if you guys want to show support, I do a t-shirt sale. I'll have the whole series of events and everything is going to be being pushed out live. We have the second veteran entrepreneur library that's going to be opening in Reno. We have partners in Philly. They're going to be helping celebrate some events out in Philly as well. Here we're going to be having vet talks, TED talks for the military community. We've got office hours. We've got networking events. Do a big proclamation with the governor's office for the whole state to declare Freedom Week. And all of this is ramping up. Next year is America's 250th birthday. And we're going to be doing Freedom Week in 5 other communities across the United States to really push and promote veteran entrepreneurship. So if you guys want to learn more, feel free to come talk to us while we're doing the thing. I'll be here all day. I'll give you guys all the links and everything to go find where all the events are going on, but that's going to be starting off on July 6th through the 13th. Support veteran entrepreneurship. My t-shirt, if you look cool in front of my friends, I'll make you look cool before it was cool. Thank you guys so much.
All right, Freedom's always been cool. So definitely check them out. At the heart of technology is humanity. Let's not forget that. Community is so important, so let's all help each other out. With Rachel Gomez. Rachel Gomez is doing a presentation. She'd like to say a few words, so we'll bring her up.
Hi everyone, good to see you all. I come by once a month and present on innovation essentials. I work as a business advisor with the UNLV's Office of Economic Development. We're also funded by the SBA. So these are business services, consulting services provided to our small business community at no cost. And so every month I present on different topics, business essentials, whether it's business plans, financial, needing financials for looking for a funding option. Today we're actually going to cover marketing. So when we look at 90% of the businesses that fail, they don't fail because they have a bad product, it's because people didn't ever know. Right? So marketing is a big piece of starting a business. If you want to get to putting together a pitch deck and having these initial conversations. So we're going to cover that, and we have a special guest, Sunshine, and her team who will be covering the founder and professional branding part of marketing. So
Oh, start pretty soon, guys. Start pretty soon. We're gonna wrap up. We have one more coming up. Eric Lacac. Thank you.
Hi there. I am the owner of SEO Expert Las Vegas. I've been doing presentations throughout the last month. As of this month, AI has kind of changed all traditions. And stick around to 245 to define what the new title is. The new terminology with AI mode. Around to that time, a lot about I'm Eric Lacoste, and I'm in 150 at 240.
Beautiful. Do not underestimate the power of SEO, guys. Do not underestimate the power. I've seen it firsthand, and if you're a startup, it's the kind of thing you definitely want to focus on. Look forward to it. All right, that wraps up all the announcements, and thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for being here. You're the real ones. You're the real ones. Again, my name is Mike. I'm here with Vegas Crypto Group. We host events weekly here in Las Vegas, so get a great time with it. If you scan all of you want to grab it there on the window, you'll see our table here. And for our email address, and we'll keep you updated on all the activities here around emerging technology, Web3, AI, crypto, and so much more. We're all over town. We're in Summerlin, we're in Henderson, we're in Dark District, of course, and on Fremont Street and many other places. So I hope to see you guys out at one of our events. We'd be happy to have you join us. For now, I hope you guys enjoy Tech Alley. Get yourself a coffee. I know it's still early. There's water, and Dragons Alley coffee here is amazing as well. So thank you all for coming out.
All right. Yeah. Hey, Victory, sit down. Before I even enter, sit down and we'll talk about what's going on. So, I'm Jason LeDuc, and this is not your weekly rundown of what's happening in the Vegas startup scene, the Southern Nevada tech ecosystem. This is our monthly live stream from Tech Alley in downtown Las Vegas. We love doing this. We love coming down and seeing everybody. We have a lot for you today. There's a huge program at Tech Alley today. We're down at Taverna Costera at the corner of Charleston and Main in downtown Las Vegas. They're the amazing sponsors and hosts for this whole event. Hi. Go ahead.
Are you talking to me? Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking to me.
No, nobody wants to talk to me.
Victory.
So we are centered at the corner of Charleston and Main at Taverna Costera in downtown Las Vegas. There are amazing sponsors who are providing the coffee, the water, the lunch, the free lunch. Everyone who comes down to Tech Alley gets fed by Taverna Costera. It's always amazing. It's always a great meal. So we're going to talk to Victory here in just a second. He's taking care of a little business, which is what Tech Alley is all about, is about taking care of business and making connections. And we would love to see him go make this connection. And then he can talk to us when he's in just a couple of minutes. So lots of great stuff going on here today. One of the best things about today, my favorite thing about today, today is the 50th Tech Alley event in downtown Las Vegas. Josh Levitt has been doing this. This is the 50th time they're doing it. Been going strong. 50 months in a row they've been doing Tech Alley here in downtown Las Vegas, and I am here for it. I am loving it. And also, something that we were doing for Tech Alley a number of months ago and haven't done in a while and is now back. The Tech Alley launch parties are back. Yes, we are indeed back with the launch parties. So Victory's company, he's going to tell us all about it in just a couple of minutes, but Victory's company, Aero.ai, is going to have a launch party today sponsored by Tech Alley to bring some attention to it and celebrate a major victory they've had. So we will talk about the major victory that Victory's company has had in just a couple of minutes. So there's also a big crypto presence today. They're going to be doing a scavenger hunt here later today with at the lunchtime hour with the crypto folks, and I forget the name of their organization. I think it's Vegas Crypto, but we will bring all that news to you and more. So if you are interested in tech, if you are interested in drones, if you are interested in crypto, if you are interested in AI, if you are interested in tech startups, if you're interested in hardware, if you're interested in software, if you're interested in coding, if you're interested in NFTs, if you are interested in marketing and SEO, there are plenty of those things coming up here today at Tech Alley, June 2025 edition, the 50th edition of Tech Alley. Here in downtown Las Vegas. So much coming on. If you are interested in those things, get on down here today. If you can't make it down here today, every third Saturday of the month is when we host Tech Alley down here in downtown Las Vegas at Taverna Costera. So if you are here in Las Vegas today, you're interested in this stuff and you can make it, there's no excuse. Get on down here, meet all these great people, see what's going on. If you can't make it today, we'll see you next month on the third Saturday of the month. And if you are planning a trip to Vegas and you're interested in tech, or you're a startup founder, or somehow interested in the tech community here in Las Vegas, try to plan your trip to join us on the third Saturday of the month here at Tech Alley in downtown Las Vegas. Now, without further dudes, Victory.
Hello.
Did you get the business taken care of?
I did.
Good.
And I'm sorry, I didn't know she was talking to
No,
me. I thought
absolutely.
she was talking to me.
I was like, I wonder if he's going to answer her.
Yeah, no.
I wonder.
Like, why
I was like, this is
like, what's going on?
this guy's focused. Like, I mean, this is my podcast, and I'm not even that focused on it. So,
Yeah, no,
So-
sure.
No,
So-
this is, and I was explaining to the audience, look, this is the Tech Alley is about making connections and
Yep.
building business and building our companies and building relationships and supporting each other. And it's so much better that you went and took care of that.
Yeah,
And I can just talk to the stream. And I did. I was starting to run out of things to say, but you came back for
Yeah,
me.
I
So
thank you for that opportunity. You know,
My
to, like,
pleasure.
just randomly jump in here and talk to you.
My
really
pleasure.
Appreciate it. It's
so
amazing. Yeah.
so I don't know where you want to start, but maybe tell us about Arrow. Do you call it Arrow AI or Arrow.ai?
Arrow AI.
Arrow AI. So tell
Yeah.
us all about it. You guys have been in business about 3 years now?
Yes, yes. So we started in 2022. Actually started the company with a few other students at UNLV during grad school.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this program called the UNLV President's Innovation Challenge.
Yes.
It was the very first one. And prior to that, I had been working, I have a background in architecture and engineering,
Mm-hmm.
visualization. So I've worked with a couple of firms and startups too. I've seen the ecosystem. I've also started working with drones as
Mm-hmm.
well. So I became a drone pilot, and long story short, it became a very important tool in the work that I did in engineering and architecture. So
Yeah.
creating 3D models and so on and so forth.
It's as I first started to learn about drones 10 years ago, because I was in grad school at UNLV too, and I was in Rebel Venture Fund.
Nice.
So Rebel Venture Fund, if you're a regular watcher of the podcast, you know I talk about it all the time. It's a student-led angel investing fund at UNLV. Great experience, loved every minute of it, learned a ton. It's what got me falling in love with the startup community and investing and all of that and tech. But we were just starting to learn about drones, and we really learned that there's a lot of really sexy stuff about drones,
Yeah.
but then there's a lot of really important stuff that drones are doing
Totally.
that is saving people tons of time and tons of money.
Yep.
You know, where when we were first talking about it, it was pipeline inspection
Yes.
10 years ago, right?
Yes.
And they were saving tons and tons of money because instead of sending someone out in a truck
Mm-hmm.
or a helicopter to go inspect pipelines, they were just launching a drone and letting it go.
And it does the whole mapping in a fraction of the time. You know, increases safety. You're not putting people's lives in danger. So very early on, I saw the importance and I saw the value of the technology in my work working with engineering firms. So we started a company through UNLV in 2022. We pitched at this event. It's like a Shark Tank style event.
Yep. Tark Tank. You
Yeah.
guys you guys weren't the very first
No,
Tark
we were
Tank.
the third.
The third, that's
So
right.
we came out third. So it was the first event.
The first event, that's
But
right.
we
Yeah.
came out third. And then we got some, pre-seed seed funding from that, and we just kicked off the company from there. So it's myself, my partner, Richard Bergstrom, who's a U.S. Air Force veteran,
Okay.
and also UNLV grad, and one of our advisors, also a co-founder of the company, Glenn Nowak, is a professor at UNLV, teaching architecture. So since then, we've eventually evolved into a company that essentially builds software to visualize drone data. The drones are important, flying them are important, and capturing the data is also important, but we saw a gap with how the data is being utilized, right? There's a lot of limitation as to how the data is visualized, how you use it to generate insights because it's not really the drone that matters. It's not also the data that captures that matters. It's what you can extrapolate from that data, right? So using AI algorithms, computer detection algorithms as well. Like for instance, construction sites, construction monitoring is something that we do, so we can map out the construction site, and from that map, we can analyze it and let you know if construction is going according to progress, where equipment might be, would be geotagged. And we started building this software company, this software called SIGA, the simulation environment for geospatial assets. It's a really intriguing software. We use video game technology, the Unreal Engine 5. So we started using the Unreal Engine 5 because it has very high fidelity graphics
Yep.
and physics capabilities as well.
So
It's-
gamers, you know Unreal Engine
Yes,
5.
yes.
If you know, original Unreal Engine was like Gears of War.
Yep.
I think Star Wars Outlaws is Unreal Engine 5 now. I think
I know Fortnite is.
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite is Unreal Engine 5.
If you know Fortnite,
Yep.
if you know
Major game.
Fortnite, you know where victory's coming from. So.
Yeah, so exciting. It turns out, Unreal, with Unreal Engine 5, they were able to create a game engine to basically be able to accommodate the geospatial precision you need to visualize drone data. So it opened this new world where we can now use game graphics to visualize drone data. So now we've, built over the past 3 years, our team of software engineers here in Las Vegas, mostly UNLV alumni and students. We've built this software and it's helping architects, engineers, artists. There's also a school district in California that just adopted the software for teaching immersive learning. So it became a very agnostic tool that can provide the ability for you to visualize drone data, but also do more.
Oh, I love it. On the way up. You guys are on the way up. So
We're slowly, building and,
are you guys raising money right now?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we are currently, we've been, raising a lot of the funds we've raised so far. We've been fully bootstrapped, but we've received a lot of support,
Okay.
non-diluted funding, primarily from, again, AWS, Epic Games, NVIDIA, and so on and so
Okay.
forth. So we're raising $1 million right now to really accelerate our software development. Because that's really what makes us stand apart.
Okay.
And that's what has brought the most revenue and adoption that we've seen within the company.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we're currently doing. It's not been easy, as you know.
No,
But we continue to build. We're primarily a lean company that wants to generate revenue primarily.
Okay.
And we've been fortunate enough to just be able to generate enough revenue to keep going.
But
we
if you
would
guys
like to do more.
Okay,
We wanna scale.
I have an opportunity for you guys. We'll talk about it off camera.
Okay.
But I have an opportunity for you guys coming up fairly quick if you're interested in pitching in July.
All right, totally.
So-
No, absolutely. I appreciate that opportunity. Yeah.
So-
no. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
So launch party today. Are you
Yeah.
guys excited?
Yeah, absolutely. So we launched SIGA on Tuesday, and it's been overwhelming the amount of response we've been getting and downloads and all that. So we wanted to use this opportunity here at Tech Alley, right, to like share the news, share the word, enjoy some food, hang out, decompress a
Yep.
little bit. It's been a very busy year.
Yep. Tech Alley is a great place to do that. And rest assured, on Monday's Vegas Startup Scene, I'll be talking about this in our weekly rundown of the ecosystem.
Awesome.
So
Thank you. No, I have to say shout out to Tech Alley for the opportunity and the platform that we've had to also build a community while building this
Yeah.
company. That is so vital, right? As you know, I host the Vegas Drone Meetup.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
We've had over 200 people come in and sign up to be a member of that.
Okay,
meetup.
great.
And it's just really amazing. We've even got to the point where we are now, having our voice be heard when it comes to drone regulation as
Mm-hmm.
well. And so drone regulation, drone technology, we go out, we fly, we teach people how to fly drones. We help people gain knowledge to become licensed drone pilot, essentially, right? So that's really one of the things I have to say thanks to Josh for, because this opportunity that we've had, and obviously the whole Tech Alley community, we've had the opportunity to literally, see and grow the drone community here. So we got people from Nevada National Security side, Nellis Air Force Base, UNLV, CSN, students. It's just amazing to see the diverse group of people using drones. And it's a repository for Area AI to also tap into for talent. And we've done that. We've been able to hire people through this meetup. We've been able to establish business relationship through this. We've been able to inspire people to go get their Part 107, which is essentially the drone license. So yeah, now we're hosting the second Drone Vegas meetup. It's this big meetup that we have in November that brings all the, kind of a microcosm of drone communities into one big event. So it's just awesome. As you can tell, there's a lot going around in the world and on how drones are being used right now. And definitely want domestic production, domestic knowledge, domestic skill building, domestic ideas for entrepreneurship. It's really an exciting industry. Yeah.
So, is the Vegas Drone Meetup is a month? How often does it meet? Where does it meet? Is it on? What's the? I know you have your big one coming up in November. Do you meet more regularly than that?
So we meet here every month here at Tech Alley.
Okay.
Once a month. We meet at room 150.
Okay.
Our session is from 1:15 to 2:30.
Okay.
So during that session, you even have the opportunity to plug and shout out your business. You can connect with other drone meetup members, business owners, professionals in the industry. So yeah, we do that monthly, but we also go out and fly drones.
Okay.
So once every other month. Now that it's summer, not so much because it's getting really hot, but we still want to go out early in the morning. So we'll go out and do some hands-on flying. That's the most exciting part of the meetup because people who are just they're not quite sure as to what drone technology is. They can see it, they can fly it. People who want to try new technology, you may have a friend that has a better drone, and you do not have access, and you can get to fly. So that's what we do once a month here at Tech Alley, and every other month we go out and fly.
So when is the next time we can come fly some drones with you?
So it's June. We're looking at July.
Okay.
So like towards the end of July, we will make that announcement after our next Tech Alley,
Okay.
which is today.
All right.
essentially. Yeah.
So if you want to go fly some drones with Victory, you need to be here at next month's Tech Alley, third Saturday of July,
Yep.
down here in downtown Las Vegas at Taverna Costera. If you want to go fly some drones with Victory,
Yeah.
that's when he's going to tell you when you can go fly some drones with Victory.
Yeah.
So-
So Yep. Thank you.
So, what is there any specific topic for? Are you guys going to be talking about SIGA as part of today's drone meetup? What's going on in today's drone meetup?
Yeah, so today's drone meetup, typically we cover a range of things just to accommodate the diverse group that comes in. There's experts and there's also beginners. So how it typically starts is that we give an overview of what a meetup is, and we talk about the most recent developments in the drone world. These days it's drone regulations. There's a lot of regulation that is coming up that are kind of affecting drone pilots, professional drone pilots. And it's so important to know those regulations because there are a lot of people flying drones that not quite following the regulations. So
Yep.
part of our job here,
Well,
that we try to do.
I've got my pilot's license. I haven't flown in a long time, but there were a lot of people flying regular airplanes that weren't quite following the
Right.
regulations.
So, but it's
so.
so important, and when you consider the safety and security, and we want to keep a good name, we
Yep.
want to push the good about drones. We don't want people doing the wrong thing. So we would go over some of the drone regulations and changes that we've had. But today, yeah, we're highlighting SIGA and the capabilities that you can essentially get from the software and what you could do with your drone. So we're essentially showing you how to go from drone data into a video game. That's what we're doing today.
Okay.
So you can, instead of just capturing drone imagery and capturing 3D models that you could just look at, you can now turn these into an immersive experience using SIGA.
This was always a challenge. When I was in the Air Force, I worked on some programs where we were part of the technical solution for collecting imagery data for intelligence and reconnaissance and that
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yep.
And one of the challenges we always had was, well, so once we collect this, so what?
Mm.
Right? What do you do with it? Right?
Totally.
Because and I'm old enough to be in the days when it would go up on a computer screen or it would get printed out on an
PDF,
image,
right.
and an enlisted imagery analyst would go and look at it and go start counting things and measuring things and that kind of thing, and then we started collecting so much data that wasn't possible to do.
Right.
Like you couldn't do anything with all of it, right? And so you guys are solving the problem for some of these civilian applications, commercial applications of it's great to collect the data,
Yep.
but then what, right?
Absolutely. I mean, so that same problem you had is something that's being faced by local AEC, architect, engineers, and construction companies. Because it's not new. Most people can collect drone data now, but like, how do you understand what's happening? Also, one thing you need to know is for our target clients, right? When they're building on site, they also have designed something. So there's a need to make sure that what is being built and what is being designed are aligning. And often then you would believe they typically don't, right? The contractors may be doing something slightly different that might affect the timeline, budget, and so on and so forth. So with this technology that we have now, we're able to map this site in 3D, but within the game engine, we can also bring the architects and engineers design files, so which is in CAD and BIM. And now we can overlay that with what's being designed or what's being built on
Right.
site. So you could see deviations, you could really foresee things and make sure that, okay, yeah, what we designed is actually what's going on. You can also count things, like you said, you could track changes,
Yep.
You could give reports, you could create presentations. So yeah, it unlocks the insights that you can bring out of the data instead of just, capturing your data and submitting a bunch of, PDFs and
Yeah.
JPEGs.
And what it enables you now, because I know a lot of old guys like me are saying, well, the architect should just go down to the site and see what's going on, right? Except the architect may be working on a project in Dubai,
Right.
and they may be working on a project in Vancouver,
True.
and they may be working on a project in like Buenos Aires,
Yep.
and they can't be everywhere at once. But this technology enables them to be the next best thing.
That's such a brilliant
And-
point you bring up.
And then if they do need to jump on a plane and go, hey guys, I'm looking at it, it doesn't look right, I'm coming down there,
Yeah.
then they do that.
So, like there's a lot of construction going on in Vegas, and there are construction companies that are building from out of state, like California and neighboring states. We've had clients like
Yep.
this where they're like, hey man, we can't fly out there, and even if we could, we can't justify the cost and all of that. Can you guys go and bring that site to us? And it's unlocked so much for it reduces the cost and the time and the safety. So we can go ahead, capture the data, and all the client has to do is pull up your computer, and the site is brought
Yep.
back to the office in 3 dimensions. That is a thing just a few years ago that wasn't really possible, right?
Yeah.
Or took a lot of time to do, right?
I
Processing of
see
data.
so much potential. I see so much potential because more of the team can be engaged
Yes.
in the physical part of what's going on with the building, right? I can see it as an opportunity for like a more senior architect
Yep.
or a more senior engineer to train a younger architect or younger engineer and say, hey, come on and look at this thing with me. See,
Yeah.
look at this and tell me if you can see what isn't quite right about this,
Totally.
right?
Yeah, I mean, even like communication to stakeholders, right? when you go to public meetings, sometimes you would see a lot of drawings and CAD drawings on the wall. But you know, architects and engineers, when you've been trained in the past 20 years to look at plan drawings, it comes natural to you. You can tell what you're seeing.
I'll
But
tell
for
you.
the public, it's hard sometimes, right?
I'll
But
tell
when
you how,
gamify it,
how old
because-
I am. I started learning drafting on paper,
Right.
and then we were one of the very first classes at the university who was also doing AutoCAD.
Mhm.
Like not even like Pro Engineer or anything like that. We were doing AutoCAD. That's how old I am.
We've come a long way since
Yeah.
then. You know, AutoCAD was really, you had AutoCAD in 2D and it became 3D.
Yep.
And then from CAD, we went into building information modeling,
Yep.
which essentially changed the model into a database.
Right.
Now you can see the geometry, but it also has metadata.
Yes.
You can have a door, you have the price, you have the dimensions, and so on and so forth. Game engines are starting to create that opportunity to now tell stories with those data, right? So you could create a simulation around it. You could create a narrative. You could render the project in different angles using different environmental
Yeah.
simulations and so on and so
Do
forth.
do you guys use the game controllers to move it around?
Yeah, I mean, so we have the WASD keys,
Yeah.
which is the gamer key.
Yeah.
So you can use that, but also because our primary clients are architects, they're not really gamers, so we had to create a mouse scroll key
Okay.
as well. Well, if you connected your game controller to it very quickly,
I
you'd
would
be
I
able
would
to do it.
honestly rather do that. I think it'd be more intuitive.
Yeah.
I think it's easy. It's easier to train architects to use game controllers to move around
Yeah.
to manipulate their
You know,
site than it is to to code the mouse to
Right.
do it.
Well, it turns out, the way we currently have it, you can have multiple navigation modes. In fact, we have a mode where you can walk with a 3D avatar. You might have seen that online. You can walk with a 3D avatar within the world. And this software, it's essentially, it has the whole world in there. It's powered by another tool called Cesium, which allows us stream geospatial globe. And then we can add all of the data that we're capturing with drones over it. So within the game engine, you can actually walk around like a 3D avatar.
So I can have like you guys, you're tech savvy folks, but this is just hitting me. Is I actually have the geospatial information of the environment and the earth around me.
Yes.
So I can do that. I can see, okay, that little hill might be just a little higher than we
Yes.
thought it was, than
Yes.
our information
Yeah.
told us, and now it doesn't look quite right. We need to make an adjustment.
And that is a paradigm shift for how architects design buildings.
Yeah.
If you've seen them, I studied architecture in school. We spend so much time in what I call a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a software that's just a vacuum of space, and you're just modeling your building.
Yeah.
Your building is the only thing in that space. Now you lose a lot of context
Yep.
when you design like that. But when you design in the world, now you can start to take inspiration from materials that are around. You can see context. You can see the height of buildings, like you just
Yeah,
said.
you
the
can.
heights of places.
We have these beautiful mountains here in
Yep.
Las Vegas,
Yep.
but a lot of these hotels, just a mile from us, were not built with the idea of what's our hotel going to look like in
Right.
front of these mountains, right?
Exactly. And what are the views? How do you maximize the views?
And you couldn't really do that well,
Right.
even 10 years ago. But now, because of Victory, we can do that.
and the ecosystem partners. No, yeah, I think we have to give credits to the advancements in technology. One, computer graphics. It's come a long way, as
Yep.
you know. Computer graphics, cloud technology,
Yep.
which allows us to essentially stream the whole globe into the game engine.
Yeah.
Right. And also be able to deliver that high fidelity software on the web. So you don't have to download Sega. You can actually run it on the web. A few years ago, it would have been very expensive to do that. And obviously, drone technology now that fly autonomously, that can like when you go fly the drone these days and do a map or a 3D model, it essentially flies itself the entire time. So all of these advancements is what has led, right, to this combination of what Sega and Area AI is. And without it, we wouldn't really have come.
What was the biggest tech challenge you found getting this off the ground? I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of them.
There is. That's the biggest.
Or the one you learned the most from. Maybe it wasn't the biggest.
Yeah, so it wasn't okay. It wasn't so much the tech challenge as to how do we best make the technology as user friendly as possible. I guess that's also a tech challenge.
Well,
actually.
user
It is.
experience, right?
Right. So it's like, yeah, game engines are cool and they can do really great stuff, but it can very quickly become overwhelming, right? Like you just said, if I have to use WASD to move around in this 3-dimension globe, and if I'm not used to that, it can throw me off and waste my time instead of help me do things that I want to do. So we had to make sure that we talk to, like, when we are the software builders, when I'm playing with Sega, I play with Sega every day. Things just come naturally. I've been
Yeah.
playing video games since I was a child. But to our end users, the things that we think are simple are really hard for them. So we had to make sure that we build the tool, and before adding the next feature, that they actually test it and use it. We got a really harsh feedback that changed
Yeah.
everything at the very early days
You-
of Area AI.
You know, Kurt Walker's not here today, but I'm gonna make his pitch of talk to 100 people, right?
Yeah. So we
Right.
talked to this GIS guy from
Yeah.
Australia, right? And he sends us like a really long email, and he's saying, I have been waiting for this sort of tool all my life,
Mhm.
and I'm so frustrated that you guys are building it in a way that I cannot use it.
Okay.
So we had to take a step back, right?
But that is
And talk to him.
that is the most valuable feedback that a founder and
Absolutely.
a tech team can ever get. Is
Absolutely.
I love the idea of what you're doing, but you built it in a way I can't use it.
Right.
And now you as a founder have to decide, okay, do we pivot
Yep.
to achieve what this user really wants?
Yep.
How do we work with this user
Yep.
to create the product
Yep.
that we really need for all of our customers,
Totally.
right?
And it also, we use that opportunity to create an ecosystem and an invitation for other people to give us that kind of
Mhm.
feedback. We opened an early access release and a preview program. We had a lot of guys like him that came in, and it turned out all of the things he called out were true. You know, the UI was hard. You know, things were hard to read, minor things, you know, that were major. So we fixed those things, and yeah, the user retainability, right, became even higher. User retention, right,
Mhm.
essentially became higher. And this guy, over time, he's now actual, one of our key users.
Mhm.
But he was, we could have looked at that comment and be like, this guy is just an asshole.
Yeah, you could have, but
But we cared so much, and we knew what he was
Yeah.
saying was true, and we kept on validating that and building and refining. And that's what we're still doing till today, essentially.
yeah, and I think that's a really important part. We remind you and tell you over and over again, go talk to 100 people before you launch your prototype, right?
Yeah.
Go keep talking, get that customer feedback or that potential customer feedback.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to listen to it.
Yeah.
You want to go get it though. That's
Yeah.
the most important
Totally.
thing, right?
Totally. Yeah. No, absolutely. I think the more, because sometimes it could also be distracting when you get the wrong kind of feedback. But and it's also important to experience the problem a little bit. Because I had worked for a visualization from engineering firms in the past, I kind of understood how architects work, their
Mhm.
expectations, and engineers as well. So when he started calling these things out, I realized, man, we've been building this. So because we're building the game engine, we got carried away and started approaching the software from like a gamer's perspective, not a professional enterprise
Easy to
GI
do.
software company. So that had us, from late last year, we took a step back and was like, hey, we need to make some fundamental changes to everything stayed the same, essentially, right?
Mhm.
Infrastructure, what runs the software, how we load data, but the way users interact, the way users move, the things they use. So we oversimplified it that, we just like scrolling your mouse back and forth. You can go anywhere you want.
Mhm.
By searching an address, you can go anywhere you
Mhm.
want. With a click of a button, you can load a model in there and just save so much time, right? And we also deploy the application on the web. So now, companies who are, concerned about security, who just want to quickly test it out, can just run it on the web, right? And that was a major technical challenge as well, because we had to use this technology called pixel streaming that essentially we deploy the application on a Amazon server,
Mhm.
and then it streams the application to the end user. So now you can use your mobile phone, you run it on a Mac. You don't essentially need like a gaming computer to run the
Right.
software. So we had to build all of that from scratch.
So it runs where it's hosted.
Yes.
And then you guys all get to use it on whatever device you want to use
Whatever
it on.
device, anywhere in the
Love
world.
it.
So now you
Love
can
it
use it on
so
an
much.
iPad, on a computer. And so that was a huge technical challenge that we had to overcome, and we're still, refining it. But it came from, user feedback, and we've seen adoption grow because of following that feedback and fixing things. But, we just launched. There's still like a million things that I would like to build.
Yeah. So what's the next big thing
Yeah.
for Aero AI? What are you going to work on for the rest of 2025, 2026?
Yeah. Stiga. So the way we currently have our business model is that we have the software which you can download as a SaaS and pay for it a monthly and do whatever you want with it. But we also work with clients to customize that software. We're getting a lot of that, right? So you find an engineering company or whatever to say, hey, we really like this, but we would like to be able to do smart traffic simulations.
Okay.
Would like to be able to do dynamic course management in here. We like to be able to do training. So this has been able to bring significant revenue for us, and we have a lot of these in our pipeline. That it's kind of a catch-22 because we have to put some of our work in there while SIGA as the standalone application isn't being actively developed. But we've also benefited from doing this because a lot of times those custom or customizations that you want to add, it turns out that it's not only that company that needs it, right? So there's a lot of companies that may need that kind of customization. So it's just another feedback that we're getting to say, hey, it would be nice if you guys had these features, build it for us. And then we build it for them, we learn that, and we see how we could potentially build a feature in SIGA that also simulates that. And that's been how we've been. So for the end of the year, we're building some AI modules into SIGA. A couple of things that we've started with is natural language processing. So being able to talk to the model like you would with ChatGPT and get an understanding of what's in the environment. And it talks back to you. This will actually be an avatar. So we're using something in Unreal called a MetaHuman. It's a high fidelity 3D human that we can now train with custom knowledge. So if you think about a real estate agent that might have a property, his avatar would be inside the actual property with all the knowledge about that property and be able to talk to anybody. Same thing with an architect. That's one of the things that we're doing. We're trying to create some. It's just a bunch of features that we're trying to add based on what we have on our roadmap. So it isn't really anything grandiose than just.
I don't know. I think a meta-human avatar to guide you through it. I think that's pretty grandiose. I mean, it's what we're all looking for everything in our lives right now, right? So I think that is pretty great. I think that's huge. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So actually, that is already live. We're just continuing to refine it. I want to continue to build and just be user-centric, continue to build this tool. We're very, very grateful for our early adopters and our pilot companies. We're also doing a lot of great work here locally with some firms, and I just want to say thanks to everybody. It's like this all started in grad school, and the support that we've received from the ecosystem, from users, from industry partners. I'm actually going to Philly today to talk at a conference later on Monday. I'm leaving today. Talk at a developer conference, and we also got some funding from those guys. So as Area has been building our software, we've also been building tools that helps the ecosystem. So we've built ecosystem tools and plugins that let not our company but other companies be able to push data into other data platform. So this has really helped us to not only just be a company that's building cutting edge technology, but it's also contributing to the ecosystem. But we've gotten support for all of that. So we just want to continue pushing. We could use some accelerants to move forward. And really, the accelerant is something that I think will bring value back to whoever brings that to Area. Some of our current clients and non-dilutive investors, our growth has been quite dramatic, since 2022. So we're very grateful for that, and we want to continue to do it more. We want to expand and see the adoption of SIGA grow as well.
Well, we love traction around here, and we love to see companies that are ready for investment. So, so I do have an opportunity for you when we get off camera. We'll talk about that real quick. What is something that you wish more people knew about the drone community here in Las Vegas?
You're asking so many good questions. There is a thriving community. I'll say that. A thriving and enthusiastic community that wants to grow. For a city that has 40 million visitors every year, we have so much opportunity for drone technology in the city. I also have the current opportunity to be training about 14 high school kids to become licensed drone pilots in some parts of Las Vegas. And there is diverse innovation, diverse growth, business ideas, and people are making a lot of money with just flying drones, really. And some of them are part of our communities, doing utilities, doing public safety, doing firefighting, right? Doing Red Rock search and rescue, professionals as well. So there is a lot of knowledge that is going around within our group and beyond our group. So it's thriving. There's also people who have actually testified about on drone regulation at our Nevada Congress, essentially, within our community. So I think now's the time. Here's the thing I would say, if you have at least if you're not interested, you have children, you have cousins, you have a younger, kids or whatever that are up to 16 years old, I think you should have them come out and check the drone community here. There is all, you could have a career path that you've decided that you want to do, an architect, engineers, but you'll be shocked as to how you could potentially use drones in that career. So it's growing. I mean, we're getting more pilots. We're also having drone startups like ours. You might have heard of the company called Brink Drones. They started here in Vegas. And today they're like, they're helping public safety all over the country. They're doing exceptionally well. So we want to see innovation happening locally, building. We also have people actually building drones. There was a guy, a U.S. Air Force active duty guy that showed up last month with a drone he built from scratch, and he modeled it after the MQ Reaper. And this drone is just amazing, right? He built it from scratch. It works. So it would be also nice to see investors go towards those kind of projects, because I think they have a lot of potential to bring returns. So the community is thriving. There's a lot of knowledge going around, and there's a lot of communication, a lot of opportunities too. I think just the Sphere had a job opportunity for dedicated drone pilots not too long ago. We have a lot of big resource properties that could use some of the marketing. There's a lot of construction going on in Vegas that could use drone mapping and drone construction documentation. There's utility documentation that needs to happen. Each time you drive around, you see a utility mark on the ground. Those needs to be documented. There is clearance inspection that needs to be done. How close is a tree to a power line? And can you document all of that? You'll be shocked how much you could make doing work like that. So there is not just hype. It's not a toy like people think. You can make a legit career, do a lot of research, which is part of what we do. A lot of research and development around, could be the software, it could be the hardware, it could be anything essentially that you want to use the drone for.
Well, folks, if you're interested in drones, if you're interested in flying drones, if your kids are interested in flying drones, if you're interested in doing the work and getting paid to collect this data, to analyze this data, I mean, the sky's the limit here. I love what you talked about, that we have this thriving community here. We have these cool little sub-tech communities here. The drone community, the robotics community that really until very recently were not very well publicly known, that we had this going on here, and it's great. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, don't wait. Get down here to Tech Alley today, 115?
115. We're 115.
In room 150. Come on down for lunch. Lunch starts at about noon. Come on down here, get a free lunch at Tech Alley on Taverna Costera, our amazing sponsors for
Launch
what we do
party
here.
at 4. We got food and drinks too.
Launch party at 4. Victory's going to pop into the launch party before he gets on a plane to go to a conference. So all right. So before I let you go, tell everybody where they can find you, find Aero AI, find out about SIGA, and find out about the Las Vegas drone meetup.
Yeah, totally. So Aero AI, our physical office is at Blackfire Innovation. This is in Sunset and Durango. It's 8400 West Sunset, Suite 300. We're there working Monday to Fridays. Our website is aeroai.io, but you can also find me on LinkedIn. My name is Osaro Victory Binobaro. I post a lot of content there as well. On Instagram, we're aeroai.io. And yeah, feel free to, shoot me a message I'm very active on LinkedIn, so feel free to add me, and we can share contact and talk more. All
right. One last question for you. Is Aero AI going to be doing any hiring this year or next year?
So yes.
Okay.
In fact, we just hired some folks. We just hired some engineers to join us. And for now, we think our next hire would be when we raise, right? We have enough workforce currently to continue to build what we're building. But yeah, we've hired through UNLV. We like to hire local. Really, it is what it is.
And here's why I ask this, not to put Victory on the spot, because I want everyone watching to understand there are opportunities for tech careers in Las Vegas.
Oh, totally.
If you are interested in this kind of stuff, there are whether it's with Victory or some other company, Aero AI, whatever it is, there are opportunities here. I want everyone to get the word and get the word out. Yeah. There are opportunities for tech careers here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, we got about we're a team of 9 now. We got about 6 software engineers. And we're very fortunate for the work they're doing. There's a lot of talent in Vegas. I gotta say that if you also have a company and you're looking for talent, there's talent here. You just need to provide the training for them. The mindset is there. UNLV School of Engineering does a lot of really good work training software engineers that are coming out of that institution. So we've been very fortunate to hire a lot of them. So yeah, well, that's what we're going to continue to do. That's the goal.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us today,
Thank
Victor.
you.
I've been
Thank you so
I've been
much.
wanting to have this conversation with you
Thank
for a
you.
long time.
Thank you so much.
We will do a longer interview about you
Yep.
on my other podcast, The Leader's Mindset, at some point when
All
you're
right.
back in town.
Sounds
But
good.
we will get that done.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you so much.
And I'm going to take a little break here because I'm going to get this camera adjusted a little bit.
All
But
right. Step up.
yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So everybody just stand by a little bit. We're going to adjust the camera a little bit, and we're gonna just zoom it out just a touch, Dave. And if it, yep, that's fine. Sit in that seat. Yeah, this is I had some other things to say to that, but this is a family podcast, so. No, you don't have to keep it PG. I'm just trying to keep it PG-13, so.
You know, there's a place for X on another side, but that's a platform.
That's right. All right.
Okay.
So I don't think we've met before. I'm Jason.
Jason, Catherine. They call me
Catherine.
Catalyst.
Catalyst. All right. Tell us all about you.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'm a proud mother, and I started building community since I was a little girl, like literally Ninja Turtle style.
Pull you
pull
just a
me
little
over.
closer to me.
Ooh.
Here, stand up for me for just a second. I'm just trying to get you centered on camera. I'm not.
Of course.
I'm not
Gotcha,
trying
I
to-
saw that. You just want me closer. I get it.
Yep.
So yeah, I remember like when I was like 5 going out of the playground and always wanting to be April, part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Mhm.
Turtles style. So I was always like rallying up the people and like, yeah, come on, superheroes and Ninja Turtles. So fast forward, I went into modeling and film industry
Mhm.
and a little hospitality, and I realized like I love being around people. I love entertaining and building community. So I went to Art Basel NFT event.
Okay.
Yeah, and
In Miami.
yes,
Okay.
Miami.
I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
Oh, it was amazing. And it was the first year that they had it. And I knew that in order to, because I always loved helping artists. And I said, well, what's this NFT? I need to go down the rabbit hole. So I did like 3 days studying NFTs. And I had the opportunity to get to the convention. They're sold out. I'm like, oh no, man. I just came an hour away.
I bet that didn't stop you.
It did not. You're absolutely right.
I've known you for 45 seconds, and I know that didn't stop you.
Yeah. So I go there and I said, listen, I'm supposed to be here. And she's like, I said, but the team's not answering. And she said, okay, just walk inside and we're going to, take you downstairs and we'll introduce you to the back people. So I go to the back and I guess it's the speakers area where they check them in. So I'm just chatting. They give me a bracelet. They say, don't tell anybody. So, I'm not telling anybody, I swear.
Very Art Basel.
Yes. And then I got to go in the speaker section because they just kept giving me bracelets because I'm just chatty catty, and I got to meet Bill Ty from On-Chain Monkeys and like the first founder of Zoom and Canva. And I just loved what they were doing. And I got to hear like, building community, but actually making a global impact and a difference. And I was like, walked outside and I said, my life is never going to be the same. And I just cried because now I realize there was an opportunity to really solve real world problems at such a higher scale instead of a micro scale.
All right. So, from that experience, what are you doing today to take advantage of that, to get that moving? So, do you have a company? Do you have an event? What's going on?
Okay, so then now after I've been to these events and conferences, I was like, okay, first of all, what it brings the people together? Music is our healing, and dancing is our kind of freedom. So I am working with BitTape, which is a cassette that actually goes on the Bitcoin blockchain.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we're bringing this vintage nostalgic piece back, and we are going to be coming out with vinyl. It's a little alpha right there for you.
That's okay. I'm into it.
Yep. So we have a ZK Knowledge wallet that is like a Solana, Ethereum, and it's a $2 trillion industry, but it really helps people understand what an NFT is and how
Okay.
we can track it for the artists and give them the DTF. I know you might be thinking something
Go
else.
on. I'm not making any judgments.
Direct to fans.
Okay.
And so I have that product, and then also working in the gaming industry, we were able to working with Convergence, which is a great platform where we are actually able to take out the player acquisition costs.
Okay.
Yeah, so another project, and then entertainment. So just kind of wrapping up the community, the storytelling, the music and gaming, and just here to meet great people.
Okay, cool. I have someone. They're not local here to Vegas. Are you local here to Vegas? Or are you visiting?
I'm here actually. I have one of my partners over here, and he's been assisting me, and I've been staying here for like about 3 weeks since the Bitcoin conference. But
I have someone to introduce you to in Denver. She has a technology that helps verify name, image, and likeness, and could be something you guys are using the blockchain, and could be something you're really interested in. So she was on my other podcast a couple of weeks ago. Her CEO, she's the founder. The CEO is actually going to be this Thursday's episode. Wait, no, not this Thursday coming up, the Thursday after. So I have somebody I want to introduce you to. So when we get a chance to be off camera, we'll make those connections for you.
I love that you say that, because right now when we're dealing with artist rights and all these things and our likeness and likability, it's so important to really do have that, because our digital identity means so much, and our data is so important. So I love that. I just actually wrote a kid's book. It's called Satoshi Saves the Block.
Okay.
So we're going to be going to print and marketing. And I just said, it takes all of us as a community, because we don't want to mess up the stories in the block. And, I've dealt with some things in the industry, and I just said, guys, we got to protect this chain. We got to, come together. So thank you. I love that introduction.
Yeah. What I love about what they're doing, the company's name is Ideafy.ai.
Okay.
And what I love about what they're doing is, there's a lot of people talking about, we need to protect this. We need to make sure artists get paid. Somebody should do something about this. The government needs to regulate this. Someone needs to do something. They're just like, we're just going to build it.
I love that. So, we have like these hubs all around, and I'm bringing all the builders, and we just are building, we're stacking, we're layering. And I said, the government does need this kind of, technology as well. And so that's why I've been blessed to have Dennis there, and that's what we're kind of giving, because I'm focused on SDG goals. I'm focused on impact work, infrastructure, how the chain's working, and just all the important resources that we can collectively combine together, because it's collaboration. What is it? Creation and elevate equals elevation, something like
awesome.
that. Yeah.
There's some equation somewhere, right? So, what else do you have? I don't want to. We have an opportunity. I want to get it all out. What are you working on? What else do you want people to know about?
Okay, so they call me the Cat A-list. So I do like kind of A-list parties, but A-list group is really my Avengers group. Because I literally go in the Uber and I'm like, hey, do you want to go help save the world with me? We're disrupting industries, and I was so good at it. I think I wrangled so many people, and it conflicts everywhere. Right? It's like, so
that's how you know you're doing something right. Is you've got too many people to connect with. You're like apologizing to people all the time, like, no, like we'll do it just next week, right?
Yes. And then I'm like on the phone with like Microsoft and Google, and I'm like, oh, maybe there was a little conflict there. Oops. So, I think just continually showing up and showing people that, put the heartbeat in it, put that love, that tender technology is a big thing for me. How do we show, because right now we're at this precipice time, or like this moment in time, where we gotta show the world that we're coming together to protect their children, to protect the mothers. And as a woman, it's kind of hard sometimes being in the room with men. I'm like, you guys,
Yeah, I definitely need to introduce you to somebody.
Good, I love that.
You guys are gonna have a lot to talk about.
Oh, yes. But I'm out here. I want to keep showing up for so many others. I think that we have stories to share with the world, and how important it is. This is the currency of real life. It's sharing the energy, sharing the knowledge, and I just want to keep doing that. So
awesome. Well, where does everybody find you if they want to connect with you? I know you're very busy and have a lot of connections, but where can our audience find you to connect with you?
So it's Cat me if you can.
Okay.
No. Because my first name's, they call me Cat, but it's Catalystic with a K, KATALYSTIC _ETH for my X handle, and then Kat Nowak, KATNOWAK on Instagram.
Okay.
And you find me on those handles, and love to talk and chat and figure out a way that I could be of service. That's what I'm here for.
All right. Hey Dennis, did we miss anything? All right. Well, all right.
You're on next.
All
I
right.
like that. I always have great friends around me too. So
Fantastic.
We're gonna do mom tours because we had mentors. That's the last part.
I love that. I love that. All right. Anything else before I bring Dennis on you want to leave us with?
No, I appreciate it. Just
All right.
much love. This is what the community is about. Put just
right.
love in everything you do.
Well, when we get a chance to be off camera, let's exchange information and start getting those intros working.
All right.
All
Thank you.
Thank you. Come on, have a seat, Dennis. I got to get this camera adjusted.
What's the name?
Jason. Nice to meet you. Marine?
Marine, yes.
Okay, I'm
sir.
Air Force.
All
My
right.
co-host Dave Berlin over there is a Marine.
All right.
So, and we are very active in the veterans community here. Are you here in Vegas?
I am. I just bought a house here in Vegas. I have a business here in Vegas. So kinda
Where are you
cool.
coming from?
I was in Cali, Newport Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Yes.
Very
sure.
expensive.
Very expensive.
Welcome to Vegas.
Yeah, I just bought a house here.
So,
But okay.
so how did you get connected up with Kat?
Kat, we met in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And I stream to 162 countries pay-per-view,
Okay.
concerts, MMA, fights, fashion shows.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like she came in and put up some money to investment, and that's how we met.
Okay, great.
Yes. So also so my company's called livestreamers.com. Again, we stream to 162 countries. We
Mhm.
do work with the United Nations on global change, natural childbirth. So we stream for that.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, we have LCE, which is a military contracting company.
Okay.
We do contracts for FAA, CIA, Pentagon. It's called LCNewportBeachInc.com. You can look it up. And we have done 32 contracts to date. We've been in USA Today. We've been in Registered Newspaper. We've been in JPL's newspaper
Okay.
for how many contracts. So we have worked directly with the CIA. We sold them like 22 high-speed computers. We have worked directly with Quantico on servers. We have worked with the Pentagon. We sold them the equipment that the VTC systems, they planned the invasion of Iraq. My company sold it, I own the company. And we currently is waiting on a major contract. Hopefully we win it. It is for data centers. President Trump announced it. 500 million. They have a basic startup to link up a lot of data centers, and it's $100 billion. So we're hoping that we get the contract.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, and we think we're going to get the contract. One, because I'm a disabled veteran,
Mhm.
VIP certified. That gives you sole source contracting. Most major corporations like Boeing, Lockheed, they have to give a percentage to disabled veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I helped lead that, by the way, and stuff. I helped got the veterans into the sole source, set aside 3%.
Mm-hmm.
But the contract that we're doing right now is we're waiting to be awarded, is to set up AI, data centers for AI.
Mm-hmm.
And we qualify because I set up one of the first centers for Unisys Corporation. All right? So that's it. You can contact me. You can go to my website, LCE in Newport Beach, Inc.com, or you can go to our live streaming platform, which is livestreamers.com. 162 countries.
What's the next event we can see on livestreamers.com?
Oh, we're trying to put together a deal now with Lionsgate.
Okay.
It's not only to do just live streaming, because we've been doing live streaming many years now.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. Even before the internet, we were streaming on dial-up modems, 36.6. So we've been around for a long time. So let me answer the question. The next thing we're doing a major event in Mexico, a boxing event and stuff. We have Pacquiao's people against Mayweather's people.
Okay.
And we've been bringing it in Mexico because there's less regulation. So we have a location right across the border. So we're going to be streaming. You can watch it, pay-per-view. It's $4.99.
Is the date set yet?
Yeah, we're looking. We're still kind of working on the date, but we're probably looking around July 6th or 7th.
Okay. Well,
Cool.
if you want to see Pacquiao fight Mayweather.
No, not Pacquiao. It's Mayweather's team.
Oh, Mayweather's team.
Against Pacquiao's team.
Okay.
So Mayweather's team is called T-Money.
That sounds more fun, to be honest. So if you want to see that, check out livestreamers.com.
There you go. All right, livestreamers.com.
All right.
Be seen, be heard,
All right.
get paid.
All right,
That's
it was
our
great
motto.
to meet you, Dennis.
You got it.
I want you, before you walk off, I want you to talk to that gentleman in the black T-shirt right there about Freedom Week Las Vegas.
Cool.
That is sponsoring and supporting and enhancing veteran entrepreneurship.
Oh, great.
So I want you to go talk to Dave Berlin over there
Bird.
about Freedom Week coming up that first week of July after 4th of July.
I like that.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Dennis. We have had an action-packed morning. Dave, I want you to tell him about Freedom Week real quick. So, and I will fill in a little bit and keep adjusting cameras and all that kind of stuff. Eric, you want to jump on for a second? because I do want them to talk, and I don't want to. I don't want to have dead air if I can do it. So if I can avoid dead air, I want to avoid it. So go ahead and sit down there. Nope, don't pull it over here. You're going to be off camera. That's why the chair is here.
You got to bolt it down next.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If I had here, let me do actually that. Yeah. That's
what's
good.
going on?
What is going on?
Things have changed a lot in AI. In
Yes,
SEO.
in just a couple of weeks, huh?
Yep. In the first of the month, Google in their presentation released AI mode, and we've already been seeing what has happened with AI overviews, right? So you type in an inquiry, and it gives you a nice generalized AI synopsis. Well, AI mode is the complete search results, right? So the way it is going to be is that search engine optimization is kind of an old word now.
Yep.
Because we don't live in the world of search optimization. So basically, my presentation is the new terminologies and trying to make it more simplistic as to what's actually going on in search, because it is completely different than what was done before. Right?
So big picture, without getting too much into the weeds, because we want people to come to your talk later this afternoon.
Exactly.
Big picture, what do founders and business owners need to know about what has changed in the last month or so when it comes to search?
Two things. They got to start getting rid of the JavaScript in their website.
Okay, well, that's your job. I don't do that part.
And two, they need to break their content down so that it's readable by AI in the most simplest of terms. The reason is too much talking confuses what's called chunking, right?
Okay.
Chunking is a new term in which when we were still doing your website, we would want to make sure that we knew EAT, right? Experience, expertise,
Yep.
authority, and trust. Now you need to streamline it and then have it backed up, right? By social proofing, right? The words of what you're saying is actually parsed in AI, and that's why AI mode doesn't give any links. There's no links anymore. The blue links are gone.
Yep.
Right? For now.
Well, there's little references, right?
Right. On the right side.
Yep.
Right? But the idea is, in the most general sense, within a year or two, they're going to integrate the blue links into AI, but they may not do it. They still got to figure out what is happening with how people are adjusting their websites for AI now before they start bringing in the blue links again, right? I cover this in my presentation because it's important to know that if you're not optimizing for AI now, you're hoping that the blue links come back, but they're not going to come back the way that we expect them, right? So this is a very, very important element, because SEO is not it's nice to have. It's Old Testament now. It's the way it was. Now we have the evolution of it to incorporate 3 different variances of what optimization is.
Mm-hmm.
We have generative engine,
Mm-hmm.
answer engine, AI optimization. So SEO is split into 3 different categories. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's fascinating. I absolutely love it now, because it is literally, it's the ground zero of what traditional marketing agencies were charging so much for. Now we know that for $20 to $200, if you were to buy an agent or do an SEO or ChatGPT Gemini Pro, you could do it for a fraction of the cost what they were charging thousands of dollars to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that evens the playing field for solo practitioners like myself, because I could do that plus more and learn and know how to explain it. So it's a very interesting time. It's absolutely fascinating. Still, traditional SEO is still a elementary part of how websites work.
Yeah, SEO is not going away. It's just changing, right? And as you said, some of the terminology is changing.
Absolutely.
Let's pull it back big picture a little bit.
Sure.
What I have my opinions, but I'd rather hear what you think. What do you think is going on that Google is making these kinds of changes?
So here's a synopsis, right? And this is a thought exercise. If you and I had a business together, and the traditional way was how to rank for best Italian restaurant in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
The breakdown is this: the old system, which was query based, was find words that have what is best restaurant in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. We knew this. We've been living with it for the last 2 decades. AI doesn't do that. AI has changed the absolute keywords aren't irrelevant. The keywords are not important anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone, right? But there's still an element of what is associated with the business. So without going too further into it, what they're trying to do is, instead of trying to make an algorithm based on the words, they're taking the words and making it a numerical vector. And they're throwing that out throughout other LLMs of people that have searched for the same thing within the same time frame.
Mm-hmm.
But the addition is not how do you define best, but what is the person writing its interpretation of the word best, right? Because how do you write an algorithm to rank the word best?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible, but Google has gotten to a point where it's like, yes, we know what that means. It could be reviews. It could be traffic to the website. Well, traffic is gone. Every website is gone in traffic, down a lot, because it's not about quantity anymore. It's about quality. It's how you are converting 3 people or 4 people to your website as opposed to 40. That's what AI is doing. It is completely streamlined everything to the most efficient possible measure. And that's what SEOs in the traditional sense, they have got to learn how to explain to their clients. Everything is going to change right now. It's changed in the last 3 weeks.
So what Eric's getting at is the underlying math of search is changing, right?
Absolutely.
If I'm understanding what you're saying right, instead of counting up keywords and matching up how many keywords are in your search and then what's the thing that matches the most, it's actually this whole like spider plot of there's reviews and there's videos and there's and then and you get these weird spider plots which are cool looking. I don't even think I've been calling the right thing, but you guys know
because there's a word for that now. It's called fan out.
Yep.
That's the word.
And
now.
so what they're going to do, what search is going to do, at least on Google, is it's going to take the spider plot, the fan out of your request, and then it's going to match it with whatever the best thing that matches that shape is.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Exactly it. That's it.
Engineering degrees.
Is it telling
Math
you?
nerd.
It's telling you. And then that's the thing is, AI is more. It's going to be the division between the math people that are going to understand why this is doing it the way it is, and then the people that are like, well, I'm a traditional SEO. I'm just going to weather the storm.
No,
you're not. And that's
you're not.
the thing.
End of broadcast. Good luck.
And I hear it all the time. And there's some SEOs that have turned the keys on their businesses. They closed up. They said, I don't want to have to learn a whole complete new calculus and trigonometry about this. And then there's SEOs like me, like, you don't have to know that. You just have to know what the process
You have to know
is.
what's happening,
Exactly.
and you have to know the tools to take advantage of what's happening with the math.
And and Google has to make up for the fact that this has been introduced over time, but even in their analytics, they haven't updated what AI actually looks like from a traffic standpoint, right? All we know in the industry is that traffic is down because there's no more blue links.
Well, because everybody's got ChatGPT open on their browser or their phone permanently now, and they just ask ChatGPT or their LLM of choice. But whatever it is, they are just. I mean, I hear famous people on podcasts saying, I don't even bother with search anymore. I just asked the LLM. I don't care that it uses 70 times the power to get the answer. I get a better answer. Right?
And this is why marketing is going to come to it's a precipice, if you want to, the old way versus the new way. People that think that are talking about, well, when you start a business, do this, do this, do this. It's not a flow anymore. It's a shotgun shell. You have to try everything at once to see what actually is sticking, right? And then from there you can dial it back, right? Social media is going to be huge in the new AI world, but not in the sense of the traditional sense, right?
The math, the underlying math of the internet is changing.
Absolutely. And the thing is that people need to, first of all, in the presentation, people need to know what the new words are, period. You have to know what RAG is, regenerative augmented generation. That's a huge one. You have to know what embedded relevance score is. That's another huge one. Those are 3 days old. They just came out.
And if you want to know what they are, you need to come down and see Eric's talk here at Tech Alley in downtown Las Vegas.
Exactly.
You are at 245.
245. Yep.
245, room 150.
Yes. 150.
245, room 150. Come down here. It's still not lunchtime yet. You have time to get down here and
It's true.
get a free lunch supplied by Taverna Costera, the amazing sponsors of everything that goes on here at Tech Alley. So, what else can we expect out of your talk today?
It's a transition, right? So my presentation name was The Untold Truth of SEO. I've changed it because it's not about SEO anymore. I have to make it more interesting, but I'm not going to tell it until I've actually given the presentation, and then I'll update all the
So
stuff later.
you don't really know what the title is,
I
do
do
you?
know what it is, and it's a great title. It's a great title for talking about optimization. Because I know you're going to come, so,
I will probably be packing all. Unfortunately. Oh yeah. Yeah. I will try, but
No, it's
usually
fine.
we are packing this gear up, and honestly, as much as I love doing this, I am usually exhausted by
I get
2
it, I get it.
p.m.
Actually,
when this goes on.
I'll say what
What
it
I
is.
gotta do is get Josh to move you to like the 115 slot. So that I can kick over to Dave after
That's
lunch and I
true.
can go watch it. But I
no.
also you and I will have a meeting about my
Of
own
course.
stuff and we'll talk about all this. So.
Actually, I don't mind telling what the new presentation is. Google is just not that into you.
Well, that has always been true.
It's true. Now it's more true.
No,
than
what
ever.
you know
that
what's
is the new title of the
what's
presentation.
fascinating to me about all of this is I feel like it's come around full circle. What goes around comes around, because in 1998, 1999, Google changed the math of the internet, right?
Oh, yeah.
Search was, some of you folks aren't old enough to remember this. Some of you are and just didn't know this was going on. Search engines before Google came around were, you really kind of already had to know what you were looking for. You had to have a really good idea what you were looking for, or you weren't going to find it. And it was searching was kind of hard until about 1999, right?
Yep.
And then Google comes along and you just had to kind of a vague idea of, I want something. And Google changed the math of the internet by what they did with their algorithms, right? And now they have to change again, because now this new thing has come along that has changed the math of the internet.
Right. And here's the reality too, is that they've always known that this was the whole point of it. They've already been sitting on AI for 10 years. They were just waiting for enough information to launch it on a massive scale, and they did. And this is what people wanted. This isn't new. This is what people have been wanting from Google for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
They did not want to have to scroll through ads in a map pack and snippets and blue links and meta descriptions. They wanted an answer to a
Yeah,
question.
we all saw Star Trek growing up. You talk to the computer and the computer talks back to you.
And that's the way we got to look at AI too. It's not an overlord. It's data from Star Trek. It's C-3PO.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Maybe not C-3PO. Maybe somebody more useful than that.
maybe R2D2 in English.
Maybe R2D2 that speaks better.
Yeah. But
Maybe you break those two apart and put them together.
There you go. A data D2. There you go. But the point is that it's a guide. It's not a leadership role. It's not
It's a
telling you.
tool.
It's a tool, right? And we got to start having that conversation about this tool, because it's only going to learn more about us. And its ultimate goal is to give you the best answer as fast as possible.
Yep.
That's what search engines were trying to do for 20 years, and they did it. They did it very well. But now those days are over,
Yep.
and this is what's taken its place. And it's a great thing. I think it's amazing, because it's going to level the playing field as to how unlazy you are with your business.
Yep. Guys, the droids are here. Get used to it. Start using them. They still can't come in the cantina. No droids in the
droid
cantina.
Keep your droids outside.
It's the only racism allowed in Star Wars.
But yeah, it's a fascinating time. I think the presentation with the terminology that I have is less than 3 weeks old. Who knows what 3 months is going to be like, because myself, it's an obsession, but it's actually practical. Like, there are case studies that people are saying and showing that just changing simple structure in your website can make it seen by an AI chatbot, and we can see it in the server codes that it's actually working. Before, with traditional SEO, it would take weeks. We wouldn't necessarily have to know if it was working because the scope of time frame was so long. Now we can see it within seconds. Now we can see it within minutes and days, right? It's just that a lot of the words that marketers are using now, like keywords and organic traffic, they're done. It's over. They're old words now, because we need to look at impressions. We need to see how many times words in your website are actually being seen, and more importantly, it's bounce rate. That is going to be more important than traffic, because if people are coming to your website from AI and they're bouncing off, you got to change the orientation.
You got to change that math. You got to
Yep.
change that. You got to change the match of those plots.
Right. And another thing too is that you can actually search your website on AI right now and find out what you need to do to improve it. That's never been able to been done before.
All right. So it sounds like you and I have some work to do. Sounds like we need to have a meeting in the next week or two.
We do, and there's nothing grim about this. This is a fascinating
No, it's just it's time to do the work.
Yeah, it's time to do the work. It's time to streamline things. And another thing too is for business owners that have websites with animations and videos, those aren't, AI doesn't like that. AI wants simple HTML. They want listicles. They want things that are very easy to interpret because it's doing this stuff within seconds. So if it has to go through JavaScript of a rollover animation to understand what your business motto is or what about anything about you, AI is not going to pay attention, and you'll be able to know it. This is so incredible because you will know you're winning when you get that email, when you get that phone call, when you get that message. If you still haven't changed things, nothing will change. That's what AI is doing for us right now.
All right. Well, Eric is obsessed about this, so you don't have to be. So get on down here. See his to be titled, to be named talk.
Yes.
At 2:45 today in room 150 down here in downtown Las Vegas, corner of Charleston and Maine. Come to Taverna Costera. We'll point you in the right direction to where to go for the talk. But that's all you need to know. Anything else you want to leave us with before I let you go?
No, it's website is SEO Expert Las Vegas. I'm probably gonna have to rebrand after
A website to be named.
website, maybe a slight soft rebranding after today, but anyway, SEO Expert Las Vegas on YouTube, SEO Las Vegas, all the socials. I'm always available to answer questions. Just let me know what you wanted, what you're curious about. I'm going to ask if you asked AI first because they probably might do a better job than me. But anyway.
So ask AI first. When that doesn't make any sense to you, come find Eric because he's obsessed about this, so you don't have to be. All right.
Excellent.
Thanks for joining us today.
Not a
Good
problem.
luck with your talk. I'll try to make it if I can.
No problem. No problem.
Mr. Berlin, you want to talk about Freedom Week? Woo, we have been go this morning.
I know,
love
man.
it. I love it. I
Been running.
love it. Love it.
Running.
Love it. We got to get these Las Vegas crypto meetup guys over on here.
Absolutely.
Too, so, all right. How's your morning been?
Good, busy. I jumped over. I got some good video of some of the sessions and stuff going on.
You've got some folks you're going to bring on here.
Well, I think yeah. As soon as they're done with that session, we'll get Sunshine on. For sure.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
When so.
Yep.
And then we'll get these crypto folks on if we can.
Want
And
to
we've
pull
got.
them over?
Hmm?
Want me to grab
No,
them?
I want to talk about Freedom Week. 'Cause I don't want to miss the
Let's do it.
opportunity. I want to. We can always dive more. You and I aren't shy about talking on camera, but I don't want to miss an opportunity before lunch starts. We start getting a line of people, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk about Freedom
We beat
Week.
the weather today too.
We
perfect.
This is great. The only thing I'm concerned about is the wind.
Yeah.
And so we're just and only for this light. If the wind gets too much and we think we're gonna get this light knocked over, I'm going to want to pull that down. But other than that, that may be something that happens while you're talking to Sunshine.
Yeah, right.
But if it's going to stay stable,
I think we'll be all right.
I think we're okay for now. I think we're just kind of screened by the building, and it's going to be okay. This is Weather Chat, Las Vegas Weather Chat. Thank you for joining us. I don't know what the wind speed is. You guys can go look that up. But all right, Freedom Week, Las Vegas 2025. Let's back up and talk about what Freedom Week is. What's the point?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What's it all about?
The whole purpose of Freedom Week is really just to, it's in the tagline, right? It's to help veterans connect, collaborate, and celebrate. And what we're celebrating is, yes, we're celebrating America's birthday because it's the week after 4th of July.
America.
But more importantly than that, I think one of the biggest reasons that America is a country is because it was built on entrepreneurial endeavors and a vision for change. And so what better way to celebrate that than to celebrate and highlight a network of not just veteran-owned businesses, but veteran service organizations that have a focus on veteran entrepreneurship.
And the important thing I want to jump in with is Freedom Week is not just about veteran entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
It's about supporting our community, supporting our economy here in Las Vegas, supporting everything we do here in Las Vegas by supporting veteran entrepreneurs, and also how veteran entrepreneurs support the community.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where there's all different ways that veterans receive the support and the support that they need. Some people, there's lots of challenges that people can have in their time after service. I talk about it as there's really two conversations. There's post-traumatic stress, post-traumatic growth. This is a hyper focus on post-traumatic growth. One of the things that I talk about a lot is not every veteran is suicidal. Not every veteran is homeless. Not every veteran needs a handout or a job. And this is the hard one for some people to swallow. Not every veteran has been to combat.
That's true.
And in that, you have a lot of successful. I wasn't either. You have a lot of successful veterans who have started companies, who have big hiring programs and things like that. We want to focus on some of the positive things that are happening there, and hopefully we can spark an interest in veterans in other places that maybe might have an idea and they just don't know where to go to start a business. So what started as an event last year with the big call to action of launching the Veteran Entrepreneur Library in North Las Vegas, we did that. We also got a proclamation from the governor's office to declare Global Entrepreneurship Week later in the year. This year, the whole idea of Freedom Week has grown. We've got 10 events here in Las Vegas, but we also have the second Veteran Entrepreneur Library is going to be opened in Reno. And I haven't really got a chance to talk to you about this, but I talked to somebody in Philadelphia just on Thursday. They're hosting an event on the same day that we're hosting the Vets in Tech event here in Las Vegas.
The VetCap event?
They're doing a Vets in Tech roundtable discussion, and they want to put that under the brand of Freedom Week as well.
And here's, so we do Freedom Week. It is always the week after 4th of July.
Always the week after 4th of July.
It starts July 7th this year?
Yeah, 7th technically, but we're doing a big pre-party workout and community dinner on July 6th.
So we're starting ours here in Las Vegas on the 6th. But here's the great thing. Today's June 21st.
Yeah.
You can do Freedom Week in your community.
Yep.
And just do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like reach out. Dave will tell you where to reach him, but reach out about kind of how we're doing things, why we're doing things, all that kind of stuff. And just like let us know about it because we'll help promote it. But you don't have to do a whole week's worth of big events. Do one event, do a round table, do a veteran entrepreneur or an entrepreneur or a community networking event and highlight some veteran entrepreneurs you've got in your community.
Yeah.
You can do it in your town, in your city.
Yeah.
And you don't need to ask anybody permission.
Nope.
You don't need to,
Nope.
it's just all about supporting veteran entrepreneurship and veteran entrepreneurship supporting our communities.
Yeah, and I think the really interesting thing about that is we already have other communities besides Philly, besides Reno. I've talked to some people in Atlanta that are very interested in being involved, and even if they don't participate this year, I'm looking for that verbal commitment probably the end of Veteran Small Business Week in November, right as we go into Global Entrepreneurship Week, to where it's going to take that verbal commitment to be part of 2026. The big call to action here is next year is America's 250th birthday. There's a lot of entrepreneurial organizations that are kind of funneling this whole brand of America the Entrepreneurial to celebrate 250 years as a country. Let's put a big ribbon on that and let's celebrate veteran entrepreneurs for the whole week following.
Love it. Love it. So what can we expect? What's coming up? Workout on the 6th?
Yeah, workout on the 6th. On Monday, I just launched it. This is on my LinkedIn. The big kickoff event is going to be at Nevada Partners at the original Veteran Entrepreneur Library. We'll have a panel discussion, some things going on there. We did apply for a proclamation from the governor's office to formally declare Freedom Week for the whole state of Nevada. That's during the day. So thanks to Nevada Partners for helping us out with that. That evening, I'm really excited. We are doing Vet Talks. Vet Talks is something that I've created after my experience as a TED speaker. TEDx should be clear. And then also Disrupt HR. Vet Talks is Veteran Expansion and Transformation Talks. This is the TED Talks for the veteran community. So 8 minutes, 8 slides, 1 call to action. Just a really cool way for people to identify some challenges and opportunities that we have.
And it's not all about entrepreneurship.
It's not
right?
all about
not all the talks.
entrepreneurship.
And
Yep.
you will be releasing the speaker lineup very soon here.
Exactly. Yeah, the speaker lineup comes out soon. You're helping out with the
live. We're going to be doing
live recording and things
we're going
like
to be
that.
we're going to be doing something very similar to this, although not branded as Vegas Startup Scene.
Exactly.
But
Yep.
we will put the word out. You'll be able to watch all of the Vet Talks live
Yep.
on the 7th through the stream. More to
Yep.
follow on how to do that.
Yep.
But yes, we will be doing that. And you have a terrific host for the day. Who is it?
We have Jessica JD. She's a Marine Corps veteran. She's a phenomenal, outstanding member here in the military community. So really excited about that. So that's Monday. 2 big events on Monday. Tuesday, we're taking the weekly event that we always do at the Leatherneck Club. It's called Office Hours. We're going to do kind of an office hour on, I can't say steroids, but we'll do office hour on Rip Fuel. We'll do office hour on Rip Fuel. But the idea there is to support a veteran-owned restaurant there for that day, but also for people to come network, collaborate. We've got people from the Henderson Chamber coming out to share some resources. There's just lots of cool things that are going on. So Tuesday is a pretty light day, but a big one. Wednesday is going to be we've got the pitch event that you always work with, Tarby,
the Gathering of Angels
Gathering
pitch
of
event,
Angels.
and we are still looking for veteran-owned businesses. If veteran founders, if you want to pitch, Gathering of Angels, it is not a pitch competition or a like angel investing group in the sense that the group invests together. What Gathering of Angels is Tarby Bryan puts together anywhere between 25 and 45 investors to come in and watch pitches.
Yep.
We're doing one that's all veteran founders on July 9th. I'm trying to get a couple lined up, but we have room if you're interested. You do have to come pitch in person in Las Vegas, but if you are in Las Vegas or you want to come to Las Vegas to pitch on July 9th, please reach out. Just drop something in the comments here, and we will get back to you. But we are looking for veteran founders who are pitch ready, who are kind of, if you're in the middle of a pre-seed or seed round or even a Series A, reach out to us and we'll try to get you on the lineup. But these are serious investors who are looking to write serious checks to founders.
Yep, absolutely. So that'll be a good event. That's on Wednesday. Now, the same Wednesday up in Reno, that's whenever the Veteran Entrepreneur Library #2 opens up. So
Who's your
the big
point
day.
person up in Reno?
Lourdes Madrigal is phenomenal. She's with the Veteran Business Outreach Center, but she also serves as the Reno community organizer for Global Entrepreneurship Week later in the year. So she's an Army veteran. So veterans lead the way when it comes to all things Freedom Week. That's Wednesday. Thursday's the big one, right? Thursday's the event that we're doing with Vets in Tech. That's going to be at DraftKings. Very similar to the event that we did last year. VetCap is their signature event that is a panel discussion with a few different people to talk about ways that veterans can get funding for their business. This doesn't just mean venture capital. This doesn't just mean traditional bank loans. There'll be some people talking about bootstrapping, talking about all kinds of things.
Lots of
information.
I don't want to use the word creative because that comes with a weird connotation, but there are a lot of ways to fund your business. To fund your startup, and they don't all involve getting a loan or giving up equity in your business.
Yeah, and this one, while it does focus a lot in the startup community, it's also talking about general business in other areas too. So some of the traditional bank loans, any veteran that owns a business may benefit from learning about different ways that they could get funding they just didn't know about. And even some state organizations too. So Thursday's going to be a really good one. Friday there's one event that's up in the air right now. I'll just kind of tease that a little bit, but that evening we are going to do a big after party for the whole week. This is going to be at Petrolhead. Actually tonight, the grand opening for Petrolhead is tonight. So if you're interested in that, swing by. It's over in Chinatown. But the interesting thing there is it is a active duty reservist who's doing active time right now. It's her and her husband that run that bar and grill. So we're shopping local, we're keeping it veteran, but they have the big kickoff tonight. Yours truly will be DJing, and then next Friday, or for that Friday of Freedom Week, that's going to be our official after party. So we keep shopping local.
Fantastic. Love it.
And then the last thing is on that Saturday the 12th, there will be the Sacred Soldier psychedelic retreat, which is a private event, but it is owned by a veteran-owned organization. So we're just kind of keeping all things veteran-owned and operated that week.
And if you're interested in that retreat, reach out to Dave. he can get you some info and see. I don't know if it's still open to anybody, but
They may
if
still
not
have
this-
a few
If not this
seats,
one,
yep.
there will be another one. So.
Yep. And just track me down on LinkedIn, and then we'll be able to get you all the information about where all those events are and everything. It's all getting put up all across. Just be looking out, because starting next week, all the promotions go crazy, and I'll be tagging you on stuff. Please.
Yeah.
If I tag you, all
Share
I'm
it.
asking is please share. You don't have to buy anything. If you do want to buy something, we got t-shirts.
Speaking of buying, there are T-shirts, right?
Yeah, we got the I funded freedom, and then on the back, before it was cool.
Let's stand up. We got
Yeah.
a camera. Stand up and show it to people.
Got that right
You're
there.
gonna have to.
There we go. Before it was cool, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Nevada Freedom Week 2025.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the gist. And then, as I mentioned, while we're doing a lot of great events here, this is very much catching on. I just spoke about this last time we were here. I was about to go to Global Entrepreneurship Congress.
Yes,
I did go for that. I did speak about all the events that we're doing with Freedom Week. I spoke a lot about the startup community here in Las Vegas. I did that as a U.S. ambassador at Global Entrepreneurship Congress. Mark Cuban was the keynote, but mainly I was talking about how this community is really starting to work well together to really gain some momentum. So our big hope is that the rest of the world starts to really understand there is talent here. There is community here. There are organizations here that are trying to bring all this up to the top.
I love how you brought up that the community is starting to work well together, because plug for Len Jessup and Dr. Len Jessup and the Lindsay Institute. They actually just released their report on the startup ecosystem in Las Vegas, and that was one of their big conclusions. Is over the last few years, the community has really started to gel together and work together, and it was really kind of fragmented as recently as 5 years ago. So that's not just our opinion. Like, real research has been done to show that the community has come together and is starting to work together in a much more cohesive fashion. So if you're interested in that, you can go check out the Lindsay Institute's report in conjunction with UNLV about the Southern Nevada tech ecosystem. So it sounds like there's actually some room for more events if someone wanted to do them during Freedom Week.
Yeah. There's going to be a point where in my vision and hope for things, there's going to come a point years from now where there's maybe multiple events going on at the same time in just different circles of people, but all supporting military and veteran entrepreneurship. So this year, pretty much everything in this community, there's not really any overlapping events, but there are plenty of opportunities for anyone. And this is really one request that I have. I just reached out to a podcast studio today because I remembered they were veteran owned and operated. So I reached out to them. I just wanted to give them a shout out. It's PodLab LV. I just wanted to say, hey, they're veteran owned and operated. And it wasn't to ask for money to promote them. It's just through this whole process from now up until Freedom Week, through Freedom Week, and actually through the whole month of July, if I could just mention and share and post and get a bunch of people to reshare one veteran owned business or organization each day, what kind of visibility would they get? Right. So if you know of a veteran owned or operated business, restaurant, organization, let me know. I would love to connect with them, tell them about what we're doing. This isn't to make, I'm not going to charge them to be part of any event or anything like that. It's really just, can we let more people know about what they're doing and leverage our community to kind of get all the kids jumping up and down at the same time?
I love that. Love the idea. Get all the kids jumping up and down at the same time. So where there's a bunch of places you can go to find the events, get signed up for the events. Where can people go get signed up for the workout on the 6th if they want to go, the vet talks, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So everything is a little scattered about right now, but the best place to find it is if you reach out to me on LinkedIn, reach out to me on Instagram. I've got an article and everything where all of the events are sort of linked and I can support and share that. But if you shoot it over to me, I'll be able to share those events with you individually. We're working on getting it all into one central landing page under the Global Entrepreneurship page starting next week.
Okay, fantastic. Is this your next guest right here?
It could be. Kimmy's doing big things. She was always on the grind, always on the hustle.
All right. Well, why don't I jump out? You can take my chair here. You guys can chat a little bit. I'm gonna take care of a couple things and try to line up a couple more folks to come talk to us for the lunchtime period here. And
cool. Sounds good.
We'll do that. Cool.
links.
Yep, feel free.
Here, you need
You wanna jump-
All right, Dave.
What is up?
Yay, so this is live.
We got Kimmy the Incredible in the house.
Kim Possible here, guys. How are
Kim
you?
Possible,
How's everybody?
all the way in from
New
New York City.
New York City.
What is up? How are you?
Good. So we had a conversation earlier, and
did.
I'm so happy that we had this conversation because I want to bring Vegas Tech to New York.
I love it.
Even Vegas Vets.
Yeah.
I want to bring my friends because I grew up in Vegas. I grew up here. I went to high school here. I went to university here, and I met Dave during the time where I was doing like startup pitch competitions.
Yep.
So Las Vegas, like Promise Nevada. What was the other one that we did?
We got Promise Startups.
Yeah.
There's what is it? Startup Vegas.
Startup Vegas. There was-
Startup NB. A couple different ones.
Yeah. So before, Vegas didn't even have a WeWork. So I'm just kind of like part of that transition to where like now we see like Vegas even have a WeWork. And now Vegas has this community tech alley. It's been going on for 4 years. I would say like Vegas tech grew even more in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And Dave, you came down to Vegas when?
I got here 6 years ago. This will be 7 years in November for me.
Yeah. So
I just tried to bring the vibe that I saw in Tulsa out here.
Yeah, and he came here during like when we had like Zappos CEO, we had like Tony Hsieh downtown, and I was like still in college when that was happening. So we know what Vegas could be. But New York is a very, very big marketplace. Like New York is like the center of the universe, it feels, or the center of the world. So I have a restaurant partnership in the East Village, which isn't too far for NYU. It's a very hippie vibe. It could use more community. And so I actually ended up talking to the organizer of Tech Alley. I talked to the owner.
Yeah.
I talked to him. He said he started it 4 years ago. And I told him, let's do it in New York. And he said, yeah.
Very
so
cool.
I think the partnership's going to happen. There has to be consistency. That means once I pick this up, I have to do it every month. And I really could do it every month.
I love that. I love that. Well, I think the important thing about not just Tech Alley, but building community anywhere is it always starts with a date on the calendar.
Yeah.
The only thing more powerful than a date on the calendar is a series of dates on the calendar that people can always count on.
Exactly.
And know that community is going to happen. I mean, you flew into town when?
I flew in last night. I came
Yeah.
in primarily because my father lives in Vietnam, and all my siblings still live here.
Yeah.
My mom is here, my two sister, my brother is here, so I have to come. I have to come to Vegas. But what makes me more happy is when people visit me in New York.
Absolutely. Well, I love it, but it's the great thing is that even coming here, it's like you knew that Tech Alley was today because it's always the third Saturday.
Okay.
It's always the third Saturday. It's always the third Saturday. But that's how the rhythm of this community has built over time. So I would trust that you could do this in New York City.
Yeah.
You could do it in Philly. There's a dozen other communities where as long as you put a date on the calendar and you keep that consistently going, it's going to grow. It's going to be successful. So tell us about Kimmy. What are you working on right now? What are you excited about?
Yeah. So there's like 2 different things I'm working on because with the event stuff, I'm thinking of doing on Fridays and calling it Finance Friday. I think it would make sense because, if you're coming out to New York, finance is such a huge market, and bringing like this is people in like fintech or like AI in the finance world. That's what I'm really excited about. I also, all my startups I've been like incubating for so many years. I'm pivoting a little bit to where I'm targeting mostly like people in the food industry and in the fashion industry, influencers. And I just want to continue to do a lot more social media marketing. And that's just like the niche that I know. Like I know how foodies create their content. I know how fashion influencers create their content. So how do they monetize from that? I'm going to have the LiveTurn platform attract those types of users.
Very cool.
So, you know, because like before LiveTurn was so broad, I didn't really want to start with a specific industry.
Right.
And now I finally niched it down to the restaurant, nightclubs.
That's cool.
And that's my partnership is with Restaurant Nightclub. And that's why I have this opportunity to bring Tech Alley to New York because of a major restaurant collaboration.
I love that. No, that's really powerful. And I mean, is there a scene for food and fashion in New York?
Well,
I'm totally kidding.
I mean, yeah, like, did he just ask the most obvious question? Yeah, I learned so much. I mean, I eat out every single day. There's so many free food. There's so many events. It's just limitless.
I love it. I love it. And how long have you been in New York now?
I've been in New York for 3 years, but the first year was so hard. I literally burned through all the savings I had. I went to New York with $50,000, which I think is more than most people. And it's like the statistic is most people come to New York with not a lot of resources and very high expectations. And most of the time they crash and burn and learn that it's so hard to like meet their own expectations. So I had to change my expectation to where New York for me is for my health and it's for wealth opportunities.
I love that. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. How long are you in town? Is there anything that you really want to accomplish while you're back here in Vegas? And when do you come back again?
So like I was saying, just like very focused. Yesterday I stayed at a friend's. He's a real estate he designs the architecture, and then he also wants to get into AI. And I'm telling him, like, come out to New York, get your real estate license out in New York, or be a tour guide, or even like go after the EV like jobs. There's so many jobs in New York. So I was talking to him yesterday. My other friends also in real estate. I'm telling him if I get contracts where people are doing events in New York, maybe they can come to Las Vegas, LA, San Francisco. So I accomplished those 2 meetings. And then today I got to meet with Dave and I got to meet with the owner of Tech Alley. And, you know, tonight I'm going to see my father and see, you know, how he's doing with his journey. He's a very successful guy in Vietnam. And then I'm going to be here Sunday. I'm going to meet with Elias. Tomorrow, I'm going to meet with people within that ecosystem.
Very cool.
And then Monday, I want to see my mom. My mom has a restaurant here in Vegas. Check out the restaurant scene. And then Tuesday's when I'm flying back. So
love it. So you've got a pretty busy trip here. When do you come back again?
I think I come back when, well, it has to coincide with Tech Alley because that's like the highlight of my trip. I see a lot of real estate popping up around downtown Las Vegas. So it just has to be like, you know, the last crypto event was huge and I missed it. So maybe it would have to be like a large crypto event that coincides with artists, you know. So
I love
it.
It.
Just really depends. Yeah.
Very cool. Where can people find you and learn more about what you're working on?
Yeah, so definitely check me out on Instagram, which is Kimmy Bossible, KIMMY BOSSIBLE. I'm friends with so many people, like 10,000 people. So if you want to follow my personal channel at Kimmy Graham, please do. KIMMY GRAM. You can check out my 2 websites. Anything is bossable.com and bossablehospitality.com. And those sites are going through a revamp in the next couple of months.
Very cool. You are amazing.
Thank you, Dave.
We did it.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Super shout out to Kimmy. She's been getting some great content and all kinds of great feedback, and it was just a pleasant surprise to catch you this morning. So hopefully I'll see you before you leave on Tuesday.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it.
Thank you.
So that is it, folks. We are keeping it rolling. We're right here in the heart of the Arts District at Tech Alley. We're at the little alley right between Taverna Costera and the Journey Gallery, which is Journey Gallery open? No, she's good. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Throw her purse
Oh
on
yeah.
my shoulder.
Kimmy,
Where'd you go?
you
I'll
left
take
your
it.
purse.
I'll take it.
You left your purse. Yeah, so we're right here at Taverna Costera, and we've got to give a super shout out to them. It looks like lunch is incredible. They've got a whole different palette of food every single month. I'm pleasantly surprised with the fact that they step up and donate, but they knew that they were going to be part of building community here. And I can tell you that I don't think I've ever come here on any day of the week where people, this isn't the spot to be. So if you have not been to Taverna Casterio, you got to come down here. They have this fusion Mediterranean just awesomeness every day.
Yeah, the menu here is fantastic. So if you don't make it down to Tech Alley for lunch today, come on down and check it out another time. And if you are here and you liked what you saw here today, the whole menu is really, really great here. So you should definitely check out Taverna Costera in downtown Las Vegas, corner of Charleston and Main.
There it is.
So what were Kimmy? That was her name.
Kimmy.
What were the highlights?
Kimmy's great. I met her several years ago. I think I met her at I met her at a networking event. She was working on some stuff. I was pretty involved with Startup Vegas at the time, and she ended up pitching at one of their events.
Oh, okay.
Pretty cool. And then the more we worked together, we just did a lot of strategy stuff together, and then she moved off to New York City. So
gotcha.
Kind of a pleasant surprise. We have a lot of mutual contacts and mutual people. She's done some stuff with Elias and the programs over at Nevada Partners. I think she went through one of their incubators and won an award. So solid human. Again, pleasant surprise.
Fantastic. So we talked about Freedom Week. I did not. What I usually do when we do this is I usually bring some. I never want to miss the opportunity to talk to someone on the podcast because I'm waiting in line for lunch, right? So I usually bring something, and if I don't get in line and eat, I just eat that on my way home.
We need to have assistants that plate us some food. I'm just kidding.
But, no. So
I'll plate you some food, man.
Yeah. So no, it's great. I've got something. So, but yeah, we're gonna get Mike Wilson on here. Right there. I'm gonna wave him over in just a second. Did you get to see any of the talks yet today?
I dropped in. I did get some really good footage, but I dropped in true Dave It's erroneous.
Okay.
It's very erroneous. But
not cool at all.
Yeah, I don't understand who would post that, but
okay, I'll look at it.
Hope everything's going well with your cancer.
Oh, geez.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Okay. Well, this young lady, Masha's going to come on.
Oh, cool.
And then, so we're going to talk about her app. She's got an app. And
I'll switch you seats. I'll grab something.
Get adjusted. Ugh. All right, have a seat. I'm going to pull you A little closer to me so that you're a little more on camera. People like to adjust the seats around and then they're not on camera. All right, what does this say? That's not anything we need to worry about. Masha, welcome. Is this your first Tech Alley? Cool. What brought you down here today?
Engineer in the AI space. I built an app recently.
Okay.
And I'm trying to connect.
Sit a little closer to the microphone for me. And so tell us all about your app.
So it's an app that analyzes blood work results using AI.
Okay.
So people ask me, how is that different from uploading results directly? It's usually geared for people who do these extensive blood work results, about 150, 150, 200 different biomarkers. It's not quite the same as going to the doctor and getting that yearly result, which is, 10 to 15 to 20 different markers. It's more geared towards a lot of biomarkers, and you really can bring that kind of information to the doctor. It's about 150 results with like a stack of 30 pages, and a lot of doctors have difficulty analyzing that holistically in one session because the session is so costly. And it's more geared towards preventative healthcare. And healthcare currently is very reactive. Like if you have a disease of some kind, you go to a doctor and kind of taking care of it. This is more for preventative care, healthcare. So the app using two different models to analyze the results. And before it also using deep research online to pick up a lot of research papers related to the biomarkers of the user. And then using two different reasoning models to combine all of that information to one comprehensive report. And there's also a chat option where a user can ask follow-up questions, kind of chat results. But the main thing is that a lot of users don't want to upload their personal information to a model.
That was where I was going with this. Why should we use your app instead of just uploading it to our favorite model?
Right.
And I know you know the answer to this.
Right, because a lot of users don't want to put their actual legal name with their address, all of the healthcare information, upload that to a model. So my app removes all of that information and only extracts the biomarkers, and that's what it saves as well. So there's no identifiable information used in this process. And because it's also very comprehensive using two different models, it's not the same as uploading the results to one model. There's also an aspect of accuracy, right? So there's that amount of 30 different pages. That's a lot of information to extract in one go for a model. So it's not very accurate because the information is not tabular, right? It's not very aligned. So a lot of models have difficulty extracting that information accurately. So my app does that. It's very accurate. It extracts all this enormous amount of data accurately. All the biomarkers are, it's numbers. It has to be accurate.
So how did you get started in this? What was is there a personal story behind how you got into this business?
Absolutely, yes. So it started when I started doing these type of blood work results, right? So there's a company called Function Health. They provided an option to buy that. So you go to your blood work during two different appointments because it's such a large amount of biomarkers extracted. And when you get the results, you also have analysis by an MD and a doctor, but it's very superficial. It kind of didn't give me the depth that I wanted. So what I did is kind of uploading my information online and kind of understanding, and I saw that the extraction is not very accurate. So I took that information to a doctor, to an actual MD, and he shamed me doing all of these tests. He told me pretty much crazy.
Yeah, very, very typical of doctors.
Yeah, he kind of flipped through that stack of papers, and it's like, you're probably afraid of dying.
Well, I mean, let's be fair, aren't we all? Right? I mean, given the alternative, wouldn't you rather not?
I'm afraid of getting sick, to be honest. That's what I'm doing. I'm very health conscious.
Mhm.
I'm, in that space. So I left that meeting very frustrated, but also that's where idea came from. Like, I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm sure it's happening to
No, you're not. And there's a lot of people who have a lot of different reasons for wanting to know this, whether it's they don't want to get sick, maybe they are afraid of dying, maybe they are like you and they don't want to get sick. There are a lot of people who really want to optimize their health, and they want to get their diet right and their supplements right, and they want to use there are very smart technical people who want to use every bit of data they can and understand every bit of that data to optimize their health. There's a lot of reasons why you'd want to know this information.
Like a dashboard for your body. Like you can't drive a car without a dashboard. How can you drive your body to health?
Well, you can. It's just not great for it if you don't use the dashboard.
Exactly. It's a dashboard, so it's like kind of you peeking inside of your inner workings. So I left that office feeling frustrated, and that day I started working on my app.
Okay, and you are a software engineer by background, so.
That's my 9 to 5 work. I'm an AI software.
Okay, so you have a full-time 9 to 5 job, and you are a tech founder.
Yes, and my 5 to 9 is my app that I built, and I do have users. I have about 150 users.
That's fantastic.
I just started recently. I'm marketing it right now. So yeah.
Okay, what's the name of your app?
It's called Biolizer.ai.
Okay, are you guys on Instagram? How can people find it?
Just Biolizer.ai. That's the address.
Okay, Biolizer.ai. Go. We just had Eric on, so go type it into Google. Who knows what'll happen now with the changes Google made this week? But you should be able to find it. So, and who is your market? Who is this app for?
People who are very health conscious. Sometimes they call themselves biohackers, but it's not only for them. A lot of people who just feel frustrated from the current healthcare state, and they go outside and pay out of pocket for all these things.
So, and you currently don't provide the test for them. You provide them a place to upload their data once they get their data.
Yeah, I'm trying to partner with Quest at the moment. I'm trying to find a partnership where
Okay.
we can provide, so I can provide discount codes for people who can just want to go and buy them online separately without any middleman.
All right. Well, if you're watching and you are involved with Quest or some other organization that does testing, holla at your girl here. So, and are you here in Las Vegas, or are you?
Yes, I live here.
Okay, fantastic. So, what brought you to Las Vegas?
We moved from Southern California, where the exodus, started. That's how we came to be here.
Fantastic.
Love it here.
Fantastic. Well, is there anything else you want us to know about Biolizer or anything, or the app or anything else?
Yeah, I mean, just go and try it. There's a free tier. You can go and try it for free and, see how it works for you.
All right, awesome. Where are you taking the company? What's coming up next? I know you're in your kind of MVP stage, it sounds like, in your beta, but what's coming up next?
So I would like to partner maybe with functional health medicine doctors. I want to kind of take it maybe instead of individuals to an actual doctors who can use that, because I know it's very difficult, as I said, to analyze that amount of data for one person. And so maybe doctors as well can use that.
Have you thought about connecting with med spas that are run by MDs? There are a couple of them here in town, and that might be an easier entry into that. Is that something you thought about?
I thought about doing. I kind of reached out to a few functional health medicine doctors, which more holistic. So I will look into.
Yeah, give that a try. I know. I had on my other podcast, I had a med spa in Denver, and that their founder, it's actually two sisters. Their founder is an MD, and so she brings that experience to it. She was an emergency medicine doctor, and then her sister is the former assistant district attorney for Denver. So they are very, very smart, very professional women, and they're bringing a very smart professional tone to their med spa. So they've been running. They were like one of the very first med spas in the country. They're like 12 years old now. So
that's a great idea.
Yeah. So all right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well. Thank you for joining us. Let everybody know where they can find you one more time.
Biolizer.ai. Go check it out. Look at it. Sign up. There's free option.
All right. Well, Masha, thank you so much for joining us. It was great to meet you. All right. Well, everybody sit tight for a minute. I'm going to try to grab our next guest to come on here and tell us all about what's going on with the Vegas crypto meetup. So hang on for just a second and we will be right back. All right. Mike is coming over here in just a couple minutes. He's going to tell us all about Vegas Crypto Meetup and what they have going on here at Tech Alley today. Lots of fantastic stuff going on here. Lunch is still happening. So we are, as I've mentioned many times and we'll never stop mentioning because there's such great hosts to us, we are at Taverna Costera in downtown Las Vegas, the corner of Charleston and Main. Lunch is happening right now. If you're attending Tech Alley, you're registered to attend Tech Alley. You get free lunch from Taverna Costera. It smells great. I haven't been over there to eat yet, but you guys should definitely just come and check it out. If you're in Las Vegas and you're interested in tech and you want to get some free lunch at Taverna Costera, come on down and get some free lunch. And then the second round of talks is going to be starting here in about half an hour at 1:15 p.m. So we had Victory on earlier talking about Arrow AI and Sega, and they're going to have their talk at 1:15. I'm trying to think what else is going on. I believe Demo Time is going on in just a minute. As that'll be starting at 1:15 as well. I don't have the schedule in front of me, so I can't tell you what else is starting at 1:15. Eric was on earlier. He'll be at 2:45 in that last round of talks. And so here's our next guest, Mike Wilson from Vegas Crypto Meetup is coming to join us. So, right. Mike, how are you doing today?
Hey,
I'm going to pull you in a little closer to me and a little closer to the microphone. So there we go. Awesome. All right. Everything's looking good. So Mike Wilson,
yes,
and it's Vegas Crypto Meetup, right?
Vegas Crypto Group.
Vegas Crypto Group.
Vegas
all right.
Crypto Group. Thank you for having me on, Jason.
My
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so we've been hosting events, crypto related and emerging tech related, here in Las Vegas for over 7 years. We have a great time with it, and we educate on different emerging tech. Focus on crypto and blockchain. Here at the Tech Alley, we do the Foundations of Crypto presentation, and so we talk about some of the principles behind crypto that make it important. And a lot of these are words that people don't typically hear, like self-custody, non-custodial, privacy, permissionless, and
The one thing for anybody who's watching who doesn't know much about crypto, what's the one thing they should really know about it?
well, what's exciting about crypto is it disintermediates. Question, by the way. So we're removing the middleman and allowing people to control their own money, which is revolutionary. It's something that's never
and not just their money, right? Crypto is being, crypto and blockchains are being expanded out to control all kinds of things.
So it's not just it's not just money. It's called programmable money, and that's again a term that most people don't even know about crypto, but it's programmable money. So it's used for social media applications. There's applications like Farcaster. So Farcaster runs on the blockchain. We have on-chain storage now, which is more safe and secure. So on-chain storage is used. The blockchain's used for that. There's AI built into the blockchain with ICP, Internet Computer. So there's a whole LLMs built on the blockchain. That's ICP. We have gaming. Gaming is huge on the blockchain. So Helix Games. We have Polkadot and Sui, all building video games on the blockchain. What that means is, if you fight your main character, you're fighting your guy, you get a drilled. That is on the blockchain and can likely be traded to other people as an in-game item. So
awesome.
Lots of utility as well. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Exciting.
So you guys have a presentation today here at Tech Alley?
That's right. So James T. Roop typically does the blockchain presentation at the Journey Gallery right next to Taverna Costera. This is, again, every third Saturday. I love to plug it because Tech Alley's been around for 4 years. This is the 50th.
Number
Tech
50.
Alley. We're excited about it, and I'm honored to be a part of it. There are so many great meetups and events here during the day. It's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., just to remind people that are watching. And we'd love to have you come out. There's lunch is served right now, so lunch at noon. And next month, we're going to have another crypto crawl where people can go around, use their phone, scan AR applications. They'll have AR art that people can view and mint as an NFT. So we're kind of excited about that.
Fantastic.
For the next Tech Alley.
Fantastic. So next month will be the crypto crawl, but are you guys doing a scavenger hunt today?
We do have a scavenger hunt today, and so I'm thank you for reminding me. We've got a registration table all set up, and we're supported by Stand with Crypto, and so it's important to talk a little bit about that. The politicians don't necessarily have enough information about cryptocurrency. They just don't. I was on Capitol Hill in congressional meetings in May, and we talked to a number of representatives, and their issue really was, we don't know enough about it, but we know it's not going anywhere, so we need to do something. And our thing is, we want to work with crypto-friendly politicians to push forward crypto-friendly policy. And so if you go to standwithcrypto.org, you can find a grade for your representative. All the representatives are grade A through F. So some representatives get an F, some get an A, some a B, a D, and so on. And so it's important for our voices to be heard, and we can make an impact. We're just now at the beginning of this industry, so we're excited to do that.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in we need to build the responsible technology, and then the representatives, the politicians, the decision makers, they will get pulled along. They'll go, oh, wait, you've already figured out how to do this. You've built the tech. We don't need to make laws. We don't need to make regulations about this because you've already built the tech and everybody's choosing to use the tech. Great, do that.
Right, and that does seem to be kind of what's happening. But we're excited about it because a lot of this does disintermediate. So all the rules are built in. When I said trustless earlier, what I mean is I don't need to know you or trust you to transact with you because I trust the code. And so a lot of the regulations are baked into the code. So there is safe applications and secure ways to transact with crypto. I encourage businesses to start accepting crypto as payment because Litecoin is another incredible crypto that people are using for payment. It settles real fast, and it's about 2-3 minutes, but typically orders can go through faster. And so we encourage all small businesses and startups to start integrating crypto in whatever way that works for their business.
So tell me a little bit more about Stand with Crypto. How did that get started? What was the catalyst? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Stand with Crypto was established about a year ago. We worked with crypto-friendly politicians to push forward crypto-friendly policy so that more people will have access to this. It's been very unclear. And what happens is a lot of startups and entrepreneurs, they have to leave the country. They'll actually go offshore to develop their product because the regulations aren't clear here. And in order to play fair, you really do need to follow these regulations, but they're just not clear enough. We're changing that. We're making stable coins a little bit easier to accept. So it's tethered to the dollar, so we know what it's going to be. And we're excited about that. We have a market structure bill that's going through called the Genius Act. So I encourage everyone to go to standwithcrypto.org, find out more about the organization, and reach out to your local politician and let them know that you stand with crypto.
Well, how can everyone get signed up for your scavenger hunt today and be part of the fun?
Thank you for asking. So our scavenger hunt is called Follow the Orange Rabbit. And we have a creative, unique story behind that. But basically, you'll scan the QR code here at Tech Alley, and wherever you see an orange rabbit, and fill out the form where you give us your name and email address, and then we give you a bunch of freebies with crypto, and then we tell you how to complete the scavenger hunt. I'm excited because what we're doing is we're visiting a ton of local businesses here in the Arts District, and I think they all kind of need a little boost. And so we want to work together and collaborate with people and make sure that everyone's aware of Tech Alley and all the great local businesses here in the Arts District.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's why you guys all have orange rabbits on the back of your shirt.
That's right.
Right, which was a question I was going to get to, but we solved that one. So yeah, you have to come down if you want to be part of the game. You have to come down to Tech Alley. You have to scan the QR code. You have to get signed up, and then you get to go it's a beautiful day. I think we're under 100 today, which is perfect for June in Las Vegas. It's a gorgeous day. If you want to come play a fun game, get on down here to Taverna Costera, get signed up, scan the QR code, play the scavenger hunt, and go visit some of these amazing local businesses down here in the Arts District.
We're excited about it. And then after Tech Alley, there's a little bit of an after party, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., where we're launching another startup, helping startups. And Tech Alley has a history of helping so many great tech startups here in Las Vegas over 4 years, this event. So we're excited to do that. And we'll have something special for you next third Saturday of the month, which is July 19th.
Fantastic. Well, is there anything else you want to leave us with before we let you go?
Yeah, so if you're interested in learning more about the local tech community that's really growing here in Las Vegas, you can go to our website. You can go to techalley.org, which I highly recommend. Sign up for the next Tech Alley, learn more about what we do here. Josh has been an incredible host, and what a great founder. And then our website is Inform Empower, and I'll spell that. So it's INFORM, Empower, EMPOWER.com, informempower.com. All of our events are listed there. We have events weekly. We do Web3 Wednesdays. We have Multi-Chain Mondays. We have a special Privacy on Tap for July 11th. And so we do special events. And we just love to educate and teach people about crypto.
Well, we love, I've started doing a weekly rundown every Monday, quick video, and I've included Multi-Chain Mondays and Web3 Wednesdays on that. So, so I try to keep up with, all the news. And that reminds me, if you have something going on, if you're a tech founder, if you've got a meetup, if you've got something, please let me know. Email me at info@ledukeleadership.com or drop it in the comments. Find me on the socials. Let me know about your event. We'll put it in the weekly rundown on Mondays. We're trying to get a quick 10-minute podcast out with some news about what's going on with the company, the founders and the companies here in town, and all the events that are happening. Josh has done such a great job with Tech Alley bringing the community together, and we want to see everybody's coming to Tech Alley, showing up at everybody else's events. So if you have something, please let me know. But I'm glad to see we've been able to promote Multi-Chain Mondays and Web3 Wednesdays with Vegas startup scene. So.
I certainly appreciate it. And blockchain's not going anywhere. Everybody knows it. It's going to probably touch every single industry in the world at some point or another, supply chain management and so many other things that it can do. So we're excited about it. Colleges, by the way, if you're not aware, are using it for transcripts now.
They should be.
Yeah.
The fact that they aren't all doing it by now, when I first heard about blockchain, that was one of the very first applications I thought about was transcripts, documentation, anything that you want to be able to transmit to someone and know that it hasn't been altered. Right. And college transcripts are one of those really important things. We got to make sure it's, if instead of calling the college or emailing the college and sending them a check and then they mail it in a sealed envelope where they, put the seal over it. And I mean, how much money are you going to save just on college transcripts? Right.
It doesn't work too. A lot of people lie about their credits. And so,
absolutely.
The NFTs will work for titles and deeds as well.
Yep,
so
that was the other one I thought of.
Yep.
So it's coming whether you like it or not. Get on board, learn how to use it so it can be a positive impact in your life. So many things we were just talking about. Google's changes to search in the last couple of days, and the old way of thinking about search is over.
Yep.
The robots are here, the droids are here, and let's work with them instead of against them, right?
That's a good point. I like to make this point pretty frequently. We have to keep our humanity in this push of technology. It's so important. And these in-person meetups, you cannot beat it. There's nothing better. You can't replicate it. You got to come down. You got to be in person. It's a completely different vibe. And I always recommend that people do that. We also have art and art shows. It's something we do. You can find that on informempower.com because art really is our connection to humanity. And I'm just such a big fan of some of the amazing artists we have out here, especially in the Arts District.
That's a perfect place to leave it. Technology, we should be using technology to enhance humanity, not to put ourselves in a box. So,
right.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Tell everybody one more time where they can find you.
Yeah, so go to informempower.com, INFORM, empower, EMPOWER.com, informempower.com. You can see a list of all our events.
All right, Mike, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck. I hope you get a lot of participants in the scavenger hunt today, and we will see you next month.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on,
All right,
Jason.
thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks for watching, guys.
All right.
Great stuff.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Always. We will, yeah. All right, folks. I don't have anybody lined up for you right now, so I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to get a little more water. Sit tight. We will get somebody on to chat with us here in just a bit. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right.
I had a very interesting experience.
All right. So look at the camera. Tell everybody who you are.
Oh, we're talking.
Yeah, we're on. We're going.
Rosalie Bingham with Regenerative.
Okay.
Regen Rosalie.
All right.
So I had an really cool experience the other day. I was in a mastermind, and they asked this question, "What's your challenge?" And everybody was going through their challenges, right? And when I stood up and I was talking with them, I said, "I'm the challenge."
Okay.
So the challenge is me, because I have been an investor most of my life. Not all, but most of my life I've been an investor and an entrepreneur most of my life, starting at the age of 8. And I don't like it when people come to me and they don't have all of their ducks in the row and everything's buttoned down. And it's, right?
A common frustration with investors.
Yeah. We get these half-baked cakes and then they don't deliver at the end. So that's not good. So I have been holding back the purse strings and a lot of moving forward because it's not 100% buttoned down. But I'm in this 80-20. So I think you're an investor as well. So I'm asking you for some advice.
Okay.
So I don't want to be one of those girls or gals that says, "Oh, I can do this," and then not deliver it, right? However, so I have an opportunity, and I wonder if you would go ahead, if it was 80% baked, would you go ahead and do it was 80% baked, or would you wait till it was 90 or 100?
So let me be very clear with our audience. I've talked about this before, and I want to be very clear. I have been an investor in the sense of I have worked for funds and invested money that investors has put in, but I have looked at a lot of deals. I've made a lot of recommendations on deals. The answer to that is, what's the 80% that's baked? Right?
Yeah.
It's right, because there are.
That's a great question.
Right. There are, and I don't mean to sound evasive about it, but it really does matter what the 80% is that's baked, right? If there are really big gaps if that last 20% is a really big gap, like we haven't proven there's any traction for this. Like we have the tech, like if 80% of it is we have the tech all lined up and we know exactly how to do the tech, that's great. But if you haven't worked out what is the total market for it, what is the available market for it, and if you haven't done the research to and gotten the traction, right?
Yeah.
So you know Kurt Walker,
Yeah,
right?
love
Kurt
that
Walker, we very much have the same thing. The whole before you even like try to build your prototype, go talk to 100 people, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't gone and talked to 100 people, I'm real reluctant to get in on your idea, right?
Yeah.
You know, because if you go talk to 100 people, what you're going to find is if you've got a really good idea that the market likes, doesn't mean you know how to do it yet, but if you've got something that the market likes, if you go talk to 100 people, chances are between 5 and 10 of them will say, "How do I give you money right now?" And
when they ask me that question, I say I don't need any money. Isn't
right.
that stupid?
Well, but I mean,
That's
how do I
just-
buy your thing right now?
I know,
right?
but I always say, wait, I'm not ready for the money
Right.
yet. So
But that's
I have everyone I've asked, they always say, how do I get more involved?
That's
However,
the signal you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
If you've got that part, that's a really important part you want on that 80% that's already baked. If that part's not missing, if you've gone and talked to 100 people and people are like, that sounds cool, but it's not for me. If everyone is saying that, you may need to adjust either who you're talking to or adjust the market you're after. So market's really, really important. Now, that's not the hard tech work, but it's hard, important work. So if that's in the 20% that's not baked yet, I'd be reluctant. What else?
Okay, so what about if we were to do this? So there is a part that needs to be completed. The 120, there's a section there of the 20% that does need to get done.
Yep.
Okay, let's just say. So to be able to move forward without getting in that place where it's really important, and I haven't put the ingredients in, or if we don't know, is if we were to escrow. So we put the funds and assets into an escrow account, and the escrow account sits there as a asset being leveraged as a bank, because we can actually become a bank. I know what we're doing. We can become a bank, and then we can actually use it to be leveraging the assets that are in there, and even the interest off the assets that are getting. We are now a bank, so that's a big. It's a big
investors do that all the time, right?
So
they set up money or resources in tranches where the founders have to meet certain milestones, right?
Yeah.
So we will, it depends on how much money you're raising and how much money the investors are putting in. But let's say you're doing like a $500,000 pre-seed round, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna give you $50,000 right now to go do the market research and really refine what the market is, right? Until you guys finish that, we're not giving you any more money, right?
As it should be, yeah.
And then we'll give you another $50,000 for you to go explore. How do we do this process? This is a manual process, so we can so we know, in a theoretical sense, we can deliver on the promise to the customer, right?
So do you think this will work? So if I was to let me say, if we were to put assets, if I was to say we were to put, let's just say, $500,000 in of assets into a bank, right? Just to start with, $500,000, and it's leveraged at 40%. So now it means that they're getting 40% per annum for that, and so actually it's more than that. It's a lot more than that. But let's just say the interest that is accrued from the asset that's put into an account that you actually are in your own wallet. So you have your wallet, I have my wallet. So we're not commingling funds, but we're putting it into an account. And then that interest actually pays for the due diligence. So our principal actually never is touched. It's only put into a safe vault that it's not at risk of being lost. And we can donate a certain percentage or all of it, the interest that we get, to the due diligence. Now you've de-risked or insulated that risk for an investor, because their principal is not at any risk. It's just so do you think that, so if I did that, and then because what I'm waiting to do is actual feasibility study, and the feasibilities are expensive, and and there's also we need to do an alpha. We want to
Yeah,
complete this.
you'll need to do an
alpha.
MVP or an
it's
alpha and a
it's
beta.
$3
and-
million, and that's a little bit for 65,000 square feet. $3 million
Yep.
is so cheap. That is so cheap.
Yeah, I'm all for de-risking.
Yeah.
I don't know the bank regulations, the financial regulations all that well, but it sounds like a reasonable way to de-risk the investor money
Yeah.
is by putting the investor money in escrow, working the early stages off of the leverage,
Yeah.
and then I think the really important thing is that all sounds reasonable to me. And then I think the really important thing is, as a group of investors and whoever your managing partner is, right, whoever your general partners are, who are making the decisions on who do we give money to, when do we give money to them,
Well,
what
it is-
criteria do they need to meet for us to give them money. That I think is really what the key piece of this is what is the decision criteria upon which we give the people we're investing in money.
I already have that model.
Okay.
So I have that model, and I can go into that quickly, but it's people who have the ability to assess and make good choices and decisions, and they have a track record to
Right.
prove so,
Mhm.
that they can improve the environment, the economics, and emotional intelligence. They are able to assess that.
Yep.
So those are the voters. They're the collaborators, and they get to vote
Okay.
collectively.
So you guys have
We have a
have
voting-
objective criteria,
Yes.
and you have a clear process for voting and deciding.
Yes.
So it all sounds
Based
reasonable
off-
to me.
so I have
Again,
one,
I
one more
am.
question for you to get. You're
Let me
great.
say one thing. I am not a professional at this, and I am not licensed or certified in
100%.
anything.
100%,
I am
agree.
basically an enthusiast in this world.
Yeah, no worries.
And I've done some of the hard work, but I need to be very clear that do not take this as financial advice.
Yeah, no, he's just giving me opinion. I like
Yeah.
his opinion. You're giving me an opinion, and I
Yep.
go duly noted, and I think about it, and I like, this guy makes sense. He
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mhm.
All right. So the next thing is the two questions. One question, last question, unless you have questions for me, is would you have and it's a ministry, right? That's why we're doing this bank,
Mhm.
because it's also a ministry. But the two things that are required to be in the ministry is one, that everyone that is in the ministry agrees, and they agree to this principle, that if you are part of the ministry, you are going to donate to the community, to our ministry, a small percentage of your skill sets. So it's no money, it doesn't cost any money, but it's a service project, and it's something that you give to the community, donate to the community, very small, and that has shows that you have something to donate to the community, right? And there's another thing that happens if you don't have something, because we don't want anyone to feel left out. So
Okay.
everybody has the opportunity to have a skill set that they can contribute to the community. Now, that's one requirement. And the second one, and would you have both of these, or just one or not, either one? Second one is that you have the ability to have a conflict and actually showcase transparently how to remedy it, or that just to remedy it, so that you're not like getting upset and then just pushing all of that down, but you're able to have an adult conversation, or respectful, let's call it, because adults are not always respectful, but a respectful conversation with someone that you have a disagreement with, and that is the second criteria. Do you think putting both of those together would be a good ministry, or do you think they're too
So when you say ministry, do you mean like a church ministry?
It's a
Okay.
ministry.
So my
we
first
don't
piece
care what God you pray to, we don't care what
Right.
color you are, yeah.
is this going to be a nonprofit status?
It's a nonprofit
Yep.
lodge. It's going to be more like a lodge, but
Okay.
a ministry.
So my first piece of advice on that is just, with all of these things, they all sound great. Just make sure you're not getting crosswise with the rules for being a nonprofit in the
Sure.
ministry. So,
So
you know
we'll
that,
yeah.
but I'm just saying that kind of for the benefit of the audience. Like there are things you need to consider that we're not talking about here.
Yeah, you get
when
an
you try to
SEC,
structure
IRS,
something
yeah,
this way.
attorneys to get involved.
I think those are again, not a lawyer, not an expert.
Yeah.
Those are reasonable requirements to be part of the group.
Yeah, ministry.
I don't know all the rules on that, but those
Just
sound
as
reasonable to me.
Yeah.
One thing I would add to that is because, as you said, not everybody is capable of having a respectful conversation. I would, as part of the ministry, part of the lodge, is I would have people who are skilled in conflict resolution who can help the members through this. And if that's part of if that's part of this is the skill you donate to it, that's even better, right?
Oh,
That's something I would, just from a leadership perspective, I would say, okay, who are some people who are really skilled at conflict resolution and can teach people how to do effective conflict resolution and guide people through that, if that's really important to you?
Well, okay, it is important, obviously. And do you think putting those two things, service and I would say almost love, but conflict resolution is the ability to show love because you're not narcissistic. You're now thinking, oh, we have an issue and we need to solve it.
Yeah.
And let's do something together that helps you
Yeah.
and helps me. Right.
Yeah, because
So
one of those things is a membership requirement. You agree?
This would be
You donate
required.
your services, right?
Yeah.
The other one of those things is a value thing,
Yeah.
a values thing, not a value thing, right?
Yeah,
and
good
so
point.
even the organizations with the strongest values and the people who buy into those values, even the best organizations that still have to actively work on making sure everybody lives up to the values. And so that's what you've got to think about is how do you as an organization, when someone might not be living up to the values, how do we help them and guide them to live up to the values? We saw this in the Air Force all the time. Everyone has a bad day now and then. Sometimes we don't live up to our values. It was our responsibility as people wearing uniform to say, hey, brother, sister, you're not really living up to the values today. Let me help you live up to the values today, right? So one is a requirement, and that sounds reasonable to me. You're gonna give up some service to do
yes,
that.
skill set service.
But the other thing is the values thing, and that comes with how do we help people when they don't
Okay.
live up to our organizational values?
Okay.
Because we all struggle with our organizational values and our personal values sometimes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, that
So-
makes a lot of sense. So what I think what you're advising, and I'll make the decision.
Mhm.
We, not just
Yep.
me, but I make a majority, and then I have a team of
Yep.
people that help me make these decisions. But your advice or your, guidance would be realize that this one thing is a hard no. If you don't have a skill set to start with, doesn't mean that that we're not going to help whatever it is that you want to do. But to start with, we want people
Right.
that have that skill set.
And you
right?
can make that, I believe you can make that a membership requirement.
Yeah. Okay, and that seems logical to you
Mhm.
and to me. However, this other one is a value, and if you're not able to resolve conflict and you just can't, or we have a team of people that can help, and another team of people that can help, and another team of people
Mhm.
that can help. So we actually do give every chance that possible to resolve this conflict.
Yep.
I guess even if it had to come down to rock, paper, scissors, to be honest. I mean,
and-
that's reasonable.
And at the end of the day, sometimes personal values and organizational values are not compatible.
Yeah.
But you are, as you said, you're doing everything you can to try to help everybody. And then if you've done all that, sometimes it's time to part ways.
Or it's okay to have conflict, and
Mhm.
that is
Conflict.
And maybe that's just duly noted, and this one could never be resolved. Maybe I don't know.
Conflict can be healthy, right?
But-
Sometimes when you're trying to get to the best solution,
It
people
does.
who are disagreeing on what the best solution is helps the team get to the best solution,
Oh,
right?
so that's why I wanted to get your advice. I really.
I'm glad I
appreciate
could
it.
help.
Yeah, this is great. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're on track.
Okay.
We've this will be done at the end of the. Let's just say we're having a wait list right now, and I don't want to overpromise and under deliver. So by the end of the not this month, but next month, so the end of July, we will have an opportunity to leverage assets and
Okay.
receive the interest that a bank receives.
Okay.
And that is, we already have the bank set up, and we're also doing a secondary bank so that there's two. We're doing a split test. One of them doesn't have these priorities, and this one does have these priorities, and this one's the ministry,
Mhm.
and this one is open for whatever. This has a kind of a membership.
It all
What do you
sounds.
call that? I don't know what to call
I
it.
don't either. It all sounds reasonable to me. It all sounds great to me.
Covenant? If we're doing a
You know,
covenant, I pledge to
you know,
help.
you need to talk to the experts. You need to talk to
Yeah.
get that professional advice on setting this
Yeah.
up. But can you tell us any more about what the project is, or is that something?
Oh
we're,
no, this
we're-
is so cool. Yeah, the alpha test is, and we're going to do a virtual feasibility study to save us
Okay.
97% of a mistake. Because if we do the virtual feasibility study, we don't have a mistake, right? So that's first, and that's what we're using this money to leverage. But the second alpha test is so cool. So veterans have an opportunity, especially if they're disabled veterans, to have they have a pretty good stipend, and so a lot of them though don't know what to do with that. And so
Mhm.
what we want to do is we have this land in really great areas that are let's just say they're very desirable
Mhm.
areas. We're going to build a 65,000 square foot, I call it a haven or a campus,
Mhm.
and it will have these homes that are designed for these, for right now, disabled veterans and active collaborative entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So you have to be active. Like nobody's going to be able to come in and buy their way in. They have to actually donate their skill set.
Okay.
Because by design, we don't want to just make
Okay.
more money for people that are rich, right? And then more money for rich people.
Yep.
I guess that's the thing. So we want to make it so it's a collaborative effort. So that is going to happen, and we have about 4 different locations that we're looking at, and about 10 other ones that we haven't vetted yet.
Mhm.
And so that will happen by the end of the year. We'll have established that. So right now we're addressing the veteran population of
Mhm.
would you like to get involved in this? And it doesn't cost any money. It's just a
Mhm.
skill set.
Mhm.
And then we'll develop these and design these places
Mhm.
that are strategically placed that are let's just say we produce our own food, water, and power
Okay.
there, and affordable housing,
Okay.
really high energy efficient
Mhm.
homes, right? And so this will be a place that you can go to, and if you really just want to move around because you just don't want to one place, you can move around and figure out which place do you like the best.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. And so we're
Okay.
doing this virtual feasibility study. We just finished our charter. So we have a voting, so everyone needs to know how you're voting and what do you have to do to be able to get your votes. So we just finished our charter, and that's going through legal right now to make sure that it dots all the I's and crosses all the T's for SEC and IRS and all the other,
Okay.
to make sure we're not having any issues. And then we'll start having this membership, and the membership is to show your abilities to have a service that is highly likely to be valued by the community. And then there's tokens that are issued, and the tokens to start with are game tokens. So
Okay.
we're not giving out these tokens that have asset backed
Okay.
currently. However, we're open to suggestion that may be in the near future,
Okay.
and we're forming a DAO
Okay.
around it. And the DAO, like I said, will have this charter, and we already have the platform, and we're working on showcasing and blockchain stamping what everybody's doing. So it's just really at the beginning stages of what we're doing. However, a lot of the lift has already been done on the back end already.
It sounds like a lot of the tech pieces have been done, and the real
Yeah.
challenge is going to be the human, which it's the real challenge with everything, the human piece.
Well, and that's where we're starting. So I think anymore, I don't know about you, but I think the best way to find out who's really doing what you're saying, you're kind of like a show and tell, and then tell and show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you show me and then tell me.
Yeah,
what you're doing.
I've been telling people for months.
But just don't talk about
I'm
it.
done with what people are saying. I'm
Yeah.
only interested in what people are doing right now.
So the whole point that we're doing is a docu-series or a real a series showing that we have ability to do something by doing live streaming. So we're going to live stream this. Problem Busters is the name of the docu-series. It's
Awesome.
Problem Busters. And the series we're doing in Las Vegas is called Gem in the Desert.
Okay,
And so
awesome.
we're showcasing how we can live in the desert without any fear of the power going out, the water shutting down, transportation shutting down. And we will showcase this in an area that is desirable for people to attend to. And some of it is going to be smack dab in the middle of town, and some of it's going to be in the rural areas, and some of it is going to be on sovereign land by design, so that
Okay.
we have a way for people to live in different places
All
wherever
right.
their heart desires. So.
Well, I can't wait to see
Yeah.
it come to fruition and see it all happening as it goes, and watch the series. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, if you're watching, how can people reach out to you and get involved?
Go to localsparks.com. It's SPARX.
Right,
spelled
with an
local.
X.
Yeah, with an X. Yeah, with an X. And book a discovery call and let us know the skill sets. And then we'll send you our charter so you can see what the ministry is all about. And if you're willing to, provide some type of skill sets to the group, then we have a way of putting that onto a blockchain. And then there's little mini contracts that are written. And veterans that are looking to live in a place, for veterans, there is no skill set to start with. You don't have to. We recommend that veterans with skill sets attend. But if you don't
Well,
have a
every
skill set,
every veteran has a skill set.
they
so-
already had, they already put skin in the game. So that's why they don't have, but that's why there's no payment, because they already have paid.
Okay.
So that's the reason why veterans are a special class of people that do not have to have a skill set. If they don't, I
Okay.
mean, when I say donate, they already have a skill set.
Right.
But if they don't want to donate it,
Mhm.
it's okay, and we'd like to still have them in our group. However, we'd like to know why.
So short
Yeah.
version is
Yeah.
reach out to Rosalie at localsparks.com,
short
right?
version, yeah.
Localsparks.com, get more information from Rosalie, and you can see how, whether you're a veteran or not, how you can fit into this.
Yeah, thank you. And then, like we said, we're willing to share the profit. This is a
Right.
profit sharing opportunity, rendering all dysfunction obsolete.
I love this. I love it.
Yes, it is.
All right. It was good to
Thank
see you again.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of Tech Alley.
Yeah, I love this place. Thanks.
All right.
Why you breathe so hard, Buckaroo?
Oh, because I'm always talking. I'm talking all day.
Yeah. How
So-
can I help you? Really? Is
Oh,
there
we're
what
great.
you-
You've helped me by being here. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Okay.
All
and
right.
I will, and I know you're a veteran too, so
Yeah.
I would want to help with the group. And if there's
Yeah.
anything that you see that I'm doing that maybe not be, that may be counterintuitive.
no, it all sounds reasonable to me. And like I said, just connect with people who are a little more expert on this than I am to make sure it's all being done right.
People are so afraid to start something that's innovative that
Yep.
they just don't because they're afraid, in the crosshairs.
Yep. Nope. There's always ways to do it the right way. You just have to take the time to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks, Rosalie. All right. Mr. Berlin coming back. Do you have somebody coming on?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think they're about to. I think they've got to bounce.
Okay. Did we get everybody who you wanted to get today?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. We had some great guests on today. This was kind of a wall-to-wall.
Yeah, back to back.
I love it when it's like this. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I love it when we get people who want to come on and talk and tell us about all they're doing. So
Right. Well, and I thought it was going to be lighter because of the weather, but no, man. It's
no,
been,
Tech Alley does pretty good attendance even throughout the summer. So yeah, July and August are a little thinner, and it's a lot of the same faces we've seen, but they do pretty good. So if you're thinking about coming down to Tech Alley in the next, July, August, September is usually a little cool. Although not last year. Last year I think it was like 110 when we were doing this, and we were up on the roof when we were doing it. But yeah, don't be afraid of the weather to come down here to Tech Alley. It's don't be afraid that people won't be here because of the weather. For summer Tech Alley, people will be here. I guarantee it. I guarantee there'll be a good crowd here no matter when you come.
True. This is true.
All right. So we talked about Freedom Week.
Yep.
You know what we didn't talk about in detail because it hadn't happened yet was Global Entrepreneur Congress.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, good point, man.
Let's talk about
Thanks for
that.
bringing that up. So, very similar to all of this is part of the Global Entrepreneurship Network. A lot of people that may have seen the show or people that know about you and me and the stuff that we've done around the community. Global Entrepreneurship Week happens in November. It's and I've been telling people the easiest way to describe it is 10,000 events around the world. It's not. It's 40,000 events all around the world, all 1 week in November. And essentially, Global Entrepreneurship Congress is a lot of the dignitaries from those communities all in one place. So not spread out all around the globe. It's where a lot of those people come from, all from their respective communities, right to one location. It's in a different country every year. This year is the first year that it's been back in the United States in almost 12 years or 15 years. So it was in Indianapolis. We had Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban was one of the keynote speakers. Who was the guy that wrote Startup Communities? Brad Feld. Brad Feld was one of the keynote speakers. He wrote a new book about the entrepreneurial ecosystems. A lot of big announcements happened. A lot of the ecosystem building organizations all came under one roof called the eShip Alliance. So there's a lot of really cool stuff happening there. But it was basically an opportunity for policymakers, founders, funders, and ecosystem builders to collaborate and learn a lot more about each of the areas that make them more effective in the communities from where they come from. So, man, it was an incredible event. I think it was 4 or 5 days, and it was just jam-packed with workshops, keynotes, fireside chats, panel discussions, all of it. It was brilliant.
All right. Well, I'm just doing this. I'm checking the video quality on the live stream, so it's better than we've been having. But it's
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know if that router is getting warm. I don't know if there's a lot of traffic. We're running off of what we're running now. We were running off the Wi-Fi off of a 5G router. Now I've got us hardlined to the router, which helps a little bit. But yeah, I think I think the 5G gets a little busy in this part of town as the day goes on. So we'll see how it goes. But hey, look, we've got viewers, and I'm happy about that. So
I dig it.
So any other big takeaways from Global Entrepreneur Congress?
No, I mean, I think the biggest thing to know is that, building ecosystems, there is a lot of responsibility and a lot of experience that goes into that. Knowing when and how to connect the right resources together, or how to create a path or roadmap for an ecosystem to grow and build. Just a lot more ways that we can be very intentional about that. It's kind of like building a house. Like if you build the house that you want, if you build the house for Airbnb, then you're going to get Airbnb people. If you build a house that people want to build a strong home and a foundation in for a long time, then that's the kind of people that you're going to get. That same analogy goes with an ecosystem, right? If we're only building an ecosystem in a community that's built off of tourism, then you're limited to only having that. But if you're looking at building an ecosystem that thrives in building and growing more organizations, there's a lot more that might be necessary to get the people that are attracted to building here.
Well, that's always been the challenge in Las Vegas. There's a lot of talk about diversifying, but the follow-up actions don't always come because people see that the follow-up actions are going to be hard.
Yeah.
And what's great is this go around, a lot of people have remained committed to the follow-up actions to diversify the economy here. So I'm excited about that.
I think so.
So Global Entrepreneurship Congress was great.
Yeah.
Learned a ton. What did you learn from Global Entrepreneurship Congress or Global Entrepreneur Congress? I want to make sure I get it right. That it's going to help us with our Global Entrepreneurship Week this year.
Yeah. So this is the number one thing that I really learned, and somebody at Global Entrepreneurship Congress validated it. A prophet is never praised in their own community. And it's funny because we have a lot of really amazing people that are doing great things in other communities that we're connected to just through our veteran community. One day, I was nervous because Casey came with me, and I was like, I told her how excited I was about everything. And then I got nervous because I was like, what if there's not very many people there that I know? As soon as we walked in the very first day, it was like, Dave Berlin. And it was somebody from Bunker Labs.
Yep.
So we have all of these different people that are connected and doing great things in other community. They're actually frustrated with a lot of the same things. They can only get so much done. So a lot of it is building an intentional bridge between other communities to learn what they're doing in their community, but also act as a bridge for us to talk about what we're doing here. It's so funny if let's say there's somebody in Indianapolis, right? My friend Courtney, she might be working on something very similar, and she's just hitting a wall to every organization that she goes to because they remember her for an organization she was a part of 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I can come in and say the exact same thing, and they're like, wow, this
is gold.
This is gold.
Pure
we
gold.
should definitely do this. But at the same time, same goes for her coming here for us. Like there's things that other people in other communities can do. And because Las Vegas is growing so fast, a lot of times we have people that are leaving other communities and they're leaving behind them a whole network. And now they're looking to rebuild that here. So there's a way that we can all benefit from each other. I'm just trying to be a lot more intentional about building strong connections with 2 or 3.
Yep.
And then as we get that momentum, then we start blowing stuff up here.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's see, we are mid-June right now. The next big thing coming up, I think, is the Freedom Week stuff,
Freedom
right?
Week,
Is there anything
yep.
coming up before that?
No, I'm just in guerrilla marketing mode. Countdown to Freedom Week is here. And then after Freedom Week, a small rest and break until we get into stuff for Global Entrepreneurship
Yeah,
Week
and that's what
later
I
in
want to. That's what I want to dig into a little bit. Is you will get that well-deserved small break after Freedom Week.
Yeah.
But what does the timeline look like for the summer, for July through November, on getting the preparations done for Global Entrepreneurship Week?
Yeah, the first thing that we're gonna do, post Freedom Week is we want to start figuring out who are all the people that are going to be involved for Global Entrepreneurship Week, and then there's 13 segmented audiences that they really focus on: women entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, Asian entrepreneurs, Encore entrepreneurs. The goal is going to be finding who are the superstars in each one of those segmented audiences, and sort of bringing them the same way together. Not exactly the same as we did for Veteran Entrepreneurs and Freedom Week, but at least raising awareness amongst some of the people that are more impactful and influential in each one of those communities. Really building a very strong coalition of people who are activated and excited about Global Entrepreneurship Week this year. And then I think this year is going to be really important to have that on a cadence and a frequency to where maybe we have that meetup at every Tech Alley. And it just aligns perfectly to do that. But the challenge there is I'm going to be very focused on this year. I'm really letting a lot of people run with those communities, where I'm going to be trying to build an intentional bridge and get more communities to commit to Freedom Week 2026. But I want that commitment in November. So that's kind of my side quest.
Yep. So I know it's a little early, but if people are watching and they're thinking about, I want to do an event for Global Entrepreneur Week in Vegas.
Yeah.
So where do they go? Where do they get information?
Yeah.
Where can they post their event?
Yeah.
All that kind of
All
stuff.
roads lead to gewnevada.com. That's the gewnevada.com. That's the main site for all things Global Entrepreneurship Week in the state of Nevada. We'll get them all the information they need to right there. And hosting an event doesn't have to be this big elaborate thing. In fact, I would advise against that, only because if you're planning some big elaborate thing, there's going to be a lot of competing events going on that week. It's more or less, or do you already host something in November? And if you do, you might as well make it that week, because it won't change anything except for you'll get a little bit more visibility. But I wouldn't, like, if this is the first event you've ever done and you're putting all your eggs in that basket for that to be what grows your business forever, it might be a little challenging, because there's a lot of stuff going on.
Do the cool thing you want to do with a couple of cool people. And post that up as a GEW event, right? Do it that week. Post it up as a GEW event. You don't need to go rent a big space for 1,000 people and do a big, massive all-day event. Just do the cool thing you wish somebody would do.
Yep, that's it. You're 100% right, my friend.
All right. So more to follow on GEW, more to follow on, well, Freedom Week will be done by the time we do this next time. But we'll have the rundown and the report on how Freedom Week went and all the good stuff that happened during Freedom Week. What else? What are we missing? What do we need to talk about before we sign off?
I don't know,
because it's getting to be about that time.
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, most of the stuff that we talk about all kind of happened during that week. If you haven't set your calendars to Tech Alley, it's always going to be always the third Saturday
of the month. And I do want to do a shout out because Henderson has a Tech Alley event they do every month, and I think that moves around a little bit. It's normally the last Wednesday of the month, but don't hold me to that. But this month it is going to be on June 25th. It is this Wednesday coming up. So if you like what you're hearing about Tech Alley, if you've been to Tech Alley downtown before and you like what goes on at downtown Tech Alley, check out Tech Alley Henderson on Water Street at the Pass Casino. I believe it starts at 5 at the Pass Casino on Water Street in old downtown Henderson, or downtown Henderson as we would call it. But there are lots of things going on, and also we've talked about a bunch of events coming up today, but check out Vegas Startup Scene every Monday. It is a very short, I try to keep it under 10 minutes. I try to keep it under 5 minutes. That just doesn't usually happen. But it is a very short rundown of the news that's happened in our tech ecosystem over the last week, and then the things that are coming up in the next week or two. So check out Vegas Startup Scene every Monday. It usually comes out around 9 a.m. Monday morning. No promises because I haven't recorded this week, so I haven't recorded this one's yet. That'll probably happen tomorrow or probably Monday morning, more like. So it may not be out right at 9 on Monday morning, but every week, check out Vegas Startup Scene. I'll be running down all the news that's happened in the ecosystem and everything that's coming up. And it's a great way, whether you watch or listen, to just get it put into your eyes and ears instead of having to go look up all the things that are happening. So
very true.
So, all right, you got anything else for us?
That's it.
All right. Well, I think we're going to sign this off. It's been a great week, another great month here at Tech Alley, live from Tech Alley. And thank you all for joining us as always. Dave, thank you for co-hosting and helping out today. And it is a pleasure to bring this to you every month. So we will see you next month, third Saturday of the month. Vegas Startup Scene, live from Tech Alley. And we're out.
And cut.